for a major company, a helicopter company. It's called Aftermarket Support for Helicopters, okay? They're flying around, things are breaking down, parts are wearing out. We're a one-stop shop for helicopters. So I was told, we see potential for you. You're better than just working customer support. Revamp the business from ground up. You can map it out and find bottlenecks and find shortcomings and find helicopters so that our company runs more efficiently, okay? So I busted my ass, I worked my ass off, I did double work, never got paid for it. And you say, oh, it's part of the process, man, it's just part of corporate America. Fuck you. Ban. Gone forever. Ban. Gone forever. Ban. Gone forever. Ban. It happened to me. Fuck you. Why don't you listen to me? You don't know shit. It happened to me. So shut the fuck up. Why don't you listen to me? Because no one cares. It happened to me. Fuck you. Why don't you listen to me? You don't know shit. It happened to me. So shut the fuck up. Why don't you listen to me? Because no one cares. It happened to me. Fuck you. Why don't you listen to me? You don't know shit. It happened to me. So shut the fuck up. Why don't you listen to me? Because no one cares.
Justice, because back then I was pointing a camera at my television, which was terrible. I had just adopted direct capture.
2008 and my content's fine. The way I do things is strange but uniquely mine. I point a handy cam at my TV, record the footage and upload to DSP.
Space gaming.
Here's another thing they say that I can do. There's other streamers that have a way to improve the view. Draws that come is meaningful but don't be late. So 5 years later it was time to innovate. The frames are silky smooth, 1080p, anything less is a hat trick. Neck another gin door dash at the door. Now I'm tripping over cables strewn around my office floor. The colors pop, I can't believe the inky blacks. I'm so impressed, I think you fixed my fucked up back. They try to mesmerize and so in rapture. I got a little box that gives me direct capture. Direct capture. Direct capture. My USB card's working on to give me direct capture.
That is business related. Can I still have it?
It's WWE champion time.
Go. It's the money, stupid fuck. I love it. Go. By eBay. Hell! It's been tough. I always think that it's my fault. Drinking gin. Yep, I'm toxic. I love Hulk Hogan's dick. My ass is so fucking stretched. Oh, no, you didn't, you motherfucking piece of shit cocksucker. Mark my fucking words. I'm coming for you. For now? Go. It's the money, stupid fuck. What? I love it. Go. What? By eBay. Hell! Hateful slurs. Lame brain pieces of dumb fucking hateful slurs. Why am I talking? I love it. Hey, Mr. Brunel, you there?
in prison.
Right, I understand. He's claiming that he's got $5,000 a month in expenses and only $5,000 a month in income, and nets about $35.
Banned. Gone. Forever. Why do I say I'm not a children's entertainer? Because I'm not a Muppet. I'm not here to play a character. I'm not here to pretend that I'm something that I'm not. I don't dye my hair. I don't act stupidly constantly to get attention from children. I don't do stupid pranks. You know what I mean? I don't cause drama. I'm here just to play games and have fun. I'm a legitimate gamer. Big ups to your dad.
I eat banana, tasty banana. Put banana in my mouth, tasty banana. I eat banana, tasty banana. Please the peel it comes in the milk. Put banana in my mouth, squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth, squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth.
Act and talk a certain way with certain mannerisms, certain over-the-top reactions, screaming at the top of their lungs, jumping, flailing, doing weird things, constantly on camera.
I eat banana, tasty banana. Put banana in my mouth, tasty banana. I eat banana, tasty banana. Please the peel it comes in the milk. Put banana in my mouth, squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth. Squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth. I eat banana, tasty banana. Put banana in my mouth, tasty banana. I eat banana, tasty banana. Please the peel it comes in the milk. Put banana in my mouth, squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth. Squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth.
When we hit the 250 vestry for that celebration, I'm going to debut a new vest. There we go. Celebratory bubble blow. Very nice. There's bubbles everywhere. There's bubbles all over my PlayStation 4 controller. There's bubbles on my microphone stand. There's bubbles everywhere tonight.
And quite frankly, those people who make that shit up should be sued. They should be sued into oblivion. But I'm not a rich man, and I don't have the means to do it. You know, some of that stuff out there has been insanely damaging and messed up, the things they said about me and my family. That's completely false, and they have absolutely no factual corroboration for any of it.
Look at Mom.
Who? I'm a dunce. Yes, that's true. He's a pedophile. He's a racist. He's a sexist. Yes, that's true. I smell. I'm a dunce. Offensive. Egregious cross-dresser. Yes, that's true. Gifted a body that has a lot of shortcomings, okay? Bad back injury. A severely herniated gout. You oozing with grit. Postnasal gout. Gout is a disease that makes you act like an ass. He's a racist. He's a sexist. He's a scammer. He's this. He's that. Yes, that's true. I'm a dunce. Yes, that's true. He's a pedophile. He's a racist. He's a sexist. Yes, that's true. I smell. I'm a dunce. Stupid mouth drooler. Offensive. Egregious cross-dresser. Yes, that's true. I'm a dunce. Yes, that's true. He's a pedophile. He's a racist. He's a sexist. Yes, that's true. I smell. I'm a dunce. Offensive. Egregious cross-dresser. Yes, that's true. It was like Phil's an embezzler, and Phil invests his money in terrorism, and Phil's a drug dealer. So I'm having a dream that basically people are saying every heinous kind of thing they could possibly say about me, but because of who I am, people believe it. I actually admitted this last year. I'll say it again. I actually do play some mobile games. I do. All right? The ones that I play are free to play.
It's time for the That Being Said podcast on YouTube.com with me, ALT. You got a goal? Go get it. Logical style host, Steve of the Dead.
Help me!
Musical style host, Meerkat.
I need my boyfriend!
Wizard, dentist, secret musical style host extraordinaire, fantastic Mr. Sam.
Burgers.
We are brought to you by you, and it's time for the #1 entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's time for the That Being Said podcast. What's going on, everybody? It's me, ALT, and we are here. That being said, podcast Sunday show, and what a 2 days it's been as a squirrel nut carrying member of the Chaos Realm Simp Army. I traded in my nuts over the last few days. Just for a few days, I traded in my nuts because I raise a different simp flag now. And there are two gentlemen on the flag. They go by the name of Crag and Chatham. And I think we all share that flag now. Am I right on that? Meerkat, are you on this flag? Are you still for bads? I saw that bads nonsense.
Bads?
Oh, no, blabs. Excuse me, blabs.
I'm a big fan. That's all I'm going to say. I'm a secret admirer.
Okay. Well, we'll take that. But what a few days it's been for all of us around here. The foundations of the very detractor sphere have been moved just a few gout-encrusted feet off the moorings here. And we are going to talk about it for not 1 hour, not 2 hours. We got Chew to extend the divorce line. It only took about 100 hours of Attack on Titan figures to get that done. And the divorce line is now extended on this glorious day. And of course, all the boyfriends are here with me. We're going to have a lot of fun here for the next count them, 3 hours. Meerkat, please grace the people with any business style announcements. Let's get them all out of the way right now.
No business. Let's get into this. We got more than the usual, and we got something special to kick this right off with.
No business. Now, guys. If you allow me to take a quick, short victory lap, Sam, if you don't mind. There's a time in many Americans' life when they are doubted. Christopher Columbus, when the American Indians doubted him when he said he wouldn't take their homeland. Thomas Jefferson, when the British-style people thought that he wouldn't pour the tea into the ocean. I didn't kill tea. Yeah. And finally, most importantly, ALT Insider, who was doubted by so many, when I showed positivity, not positivity, confidence in Craig's ability to perform in this interview. I don't want to name any names here, but I will anyway. Decepticon, Lefty, Indrid Cold, Loco Slam, countless others. But last but not least, our very own Meerkat Mob. But I will stay humble. In this. I will stay humble like any true hero. I don't need any recognition. I don't need any ceremonies. No special treatments. But take heed of this day, my friends. And from this day forth, you all will trust in ALT. Thank you.
I was so tempted to turn the volume down then.
Should I also get an apology because I was the only one saying that the interview was going to happen? Do I get something? Or no? I guess no. I don't
think that's as important. That's not as important. But anyways,
I would want to apologize to Crag though, because I was shit talking him before this, and he did a fantastic job. So my apologies, Sir Crag.
Thank you. Now I did have inside information. But I had inside information, and I was talking with Craig the whole time, guys. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that before we get into the interview part, because that's why I was so confident. Because when every correspondence I had with Craig was positive, and I knew right away he was receptive, right? Receptive to what I was saying. You can cut the music, Sam, anytime. I can still...
the guys on stream can't have it.
Okay, cool. But I could tell he was into it. So first time he said, "Hey, I know you guys are a big podcast of Phil's. Do you have any advice or stuff for me?" So I gave him a usual a list of questions I thought we were cool to ask. That was kind of it at the beginning. But then he kind of came back, right, and said, "Would you be willing to practice the interview with me?" And that's when I was like, okay, cool. This is going to be really good. But I still kind of didn't have a real grand idea. I was just on helm of the lore and stuff. But then Philium himself put out that tweet saying, "Oh my God, thanks everybody." We'll get to all the super chats, I promise. But let's get the story out of all this nonsense. So still 3 hours is going to be tight, I feel, today. But I still wasn't sure what's going on. But Phil sent that tweet out, and he said, "I want to know what kind of questions we're going to get, guys." And that just set me off a little bit. And he also said, if you listen to this interview, you're going to know all the answers. So then I knew what my game plan was. I went to Craig and said, we started talking. We talked for an hour. The day before the interview, we talked for an hour. And I said, we can't ask any questions where he has a canned answer. If you get a canned answer, that's a failure, right? That's what we have to avoid. So he already he knew that. He knew that kind of thing going in, right? And I don't want to take any credit for this, really. Craig and Adam. Chad.
It might as well
they annihilated my expectations for 100%. And by the way, the two people with Blabs and the other producer not there, that was a strategical choice, all by them. I saw people in the beginning of the Detractor verse like, where's they at? But it was all strategy for them. Craig knew exactly what he wanted to do. He had the game plan laid out. First few questions were a little slow. Turn up the heat, and see what happens. So it was a beautiful job by them. They deserve all the credit in the world for this because they killed it. But it was pretty cool to hear my questions asked too. It was pretty fun. We'll get through all the questions, of course. But I knew it was going to be good because Craig was in the right mindset. And again, he had no agenda, right? No agenda. I really do believe he had no agenda. But he knew he had a big chance here, and he didn't want to mess it up. So he really did great. And so Craig deserves all the credit in the world. And it was cool. But let's get into it. Before getting into it, right? How long? DSP. Don't get ahead of myself here.
Let's get into it. Before we do, yeah.
My first job was a helicopter company. And but how long into it, Meerkat, did it take you to think, oh shit, this is different than I expected?
Let me tell you, because I have some notes. Now, in the beginning, they were setting it up as whatever we say, we can cure cancer today. ... still won't be enough. So that set me up for like a pre-stream, basically. But then at some point, they started to push back. And then it became very, very, very interesting because they let him go on for a little bit. They let him tell his story and run his like usual filibustering type situation.
Yes,
and
yes.
It was kind of like that. But then they started pushing him back on some stuff, and it was very interesting.
Yeah. So how about you, Steve? When you're watching the beginning questions, how were you feeling the beginning?
The same as Meerkat. I completely bought the starting softball questions as being indicative of the rest of the interview. And when they let Phil talk for a bit, because we're very giving to him at the start, let him lay out, go through his whole spiel, his propaganda stuff, and let him just sort of like talk and get comfortable. I thought, oh, they're not pushing back. This is just going to be another thing. But then, after a few questions, just to set the scene, they started pushing back. And they started pushing back on things that I thought, yes, you should push back. And then they started raising points and issues. And then they started bringing up examples and contradictions. And it just kept going. It was incredibly similar to how you see interrogations go down with suspects of crimes. And in true crime videos, they are incredibly similar tactics. He established a rapport at the start and let Phil get comfortable. And then they just turned up the heat. They did the good cop, bad cop thing as well. Craig definitely Phil definitely felt more amiable towards Craig than he did towards Adam, and Adam would push back more than Craig. Craig would be like, no, hang on a minute, Adam, let's get doing the whole good cop thing. It was brilliantly done. I was sold after like maybe 3 or 4 questions. The moment they started pushing back, I was like, yes, come on. It's like watching football.
I know. It was such a draining watch. You know, the 5 hours. Can't turn away. I had to pick up my kids from school. I'm like driving my phone right here. Like, oh, I can't miss it. Come on. Kids, get in. That's not the wrong kid. Get out. Come on. No, I didn't do that. But it was great. What do you think, Sam, at the beginning? Let's know your initial thoughts.
Well, as you know, we were streaming it in the Discord, about, I don't know, 30 of us watching it, and I had to step out. I got it running, and I was obviously busy. It's not what we normally do, so I had things going on around the house, so I had the AirPods in as much as I can, as much as I could. But so I caught the first couple of minutes, stepped away for 10 minutes to go do something, came back, and you could just tell the vibe had just completely changed. I was like, okay, right, here we go. Like, trust ALT, you know. I was like, okay, this is going well.
I didn't know about the clips. I can tell you that. So that moment when that clip came up, it was like,
oh, it was glorious.
Yeah.
It was like heaven lights of heaven came down. I was like,
I just thought,
shit.
I just thought I'd check on that actually, because I wasn't sure when that occurred, and it was only half an hour into the stream, so like, they were ready, man. They didn't want to fuck around.
Yeah, and that whole beginning softballs were still designed to get there, right? To get to that point of, you know, well, what's different, Phil or DSP? And then kind of like getting them in there, like, but you still make bad jokes, you know? And then, like, you know, get Phil talking. And Phil, the one characteristic of Phil we all know and don't love is how he runs away from answering questions by just saying random stories. And oh my God, they would not put up with a second of it. a second of it. You know,
No.
a few times they let him run off, but he was kind of getting beat down too bad. Like, all right, we'll let him talk here. Just let him go. Let him go.
Yeah,
But
you
that
could
was
tell that
incredible.
the way he began the stream, you could tell that's what he expected and how he expected to be throughout the whole thing. He thought he was still in that kind of mindset of, you know, this is kind of chill and we're going to talk about games and stuff.
Especially because as they let him talk, he got a bit more comfortable with the idea that, oh, they're not pushing back. I can carry on talking. I can keep going with this. So he started to relax into it more and became a little bit less guarded.
Yeah.
And then later on they hit him with it.
Yeah, saying that though, one of the first things he just blurts out was something like completely unrelated about like sponsorships or something. He was like he couldn't wait to like start slagging people off.
Oh, he had a checklist in his mind of lined up. I got to get these points out, like a sports coach that has the shit they want to talk about to the referees and shit in his mind. Like, no matter what you guys ask me, I'm going to say these points. But they were not. Oh my God, Adam, Chatham. We can't say enough. He just overperformed every expectation when he was like, every time Phil was going to go to that part where he's like, well, do you mean old Phil or new Phil? What do you mean? No. Answer the question I first asked you. What do you mean here? You know, and he was not having it. And I got to say, El Shoshone when they dropped that clip, El Shoshone in the Discord said, random super out of nowhere. Like, that was so awesome. That staggered Phil. And that was a turning point, honestly. That was when you felt in the bones, like this is a magical moment we're about to enjoy here. And I don't even remember how he answered the question, it really, because it was just such nonsense. He turned it back like, what do you think that joke meant, gentlemen?
He said the way he squirmed out of that was saying that he didn't think it was a black girl. You know, he was making a joke because the sheriff is crooked and he's taking people away to kill him. So he's going to take that child into slavery. And it's like, you thought slavery for a reason, and it wasn't because of the police officer.
No.
And then he's like, but you could see it as racist, but I didn't see it as racist. And it's like, it is racist.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you didn't see it as racist is a problem. So yeah, he just couldn't handle it from that point on.
He gave you two pretty like generic excuses for DSP. The first one was that he's a very prolific content creator, so he has like 100 million videos online, so you can find the few ones that say something like that. And then of course the second one was, if you think it's racist, you're racist, because I don't see color, dude. I see the world in black and white.
Yeah.
And I think because I saw a lot of comments under the interview that were roasting them about bringing up the joke and talking about it, I think the grand point there was the dude who spent the previous like 20 minutes talking about how much he has changed and how this whole point falls apart when you bring up a clip of him from a year ago. And they probably had a lot more clips, because they had the other clip with like with the Be Awesome one with I have your name and I have your address, and then the smug look at the camera. That was for me when they just like, I knew they were gonna kill it, and I was like along for the ride at that point.
Yeah, that was one part I actually missed at the time, and the only way I've seen that now is watching a bit of your stream back, Meerkat, and the reactions. First class.
I feel like it's the sort of thing that requires multiple viewings, because there's just so much in it.
Yep. Phil had many moments where he thought he was flexing, but like their faces were like, okay, yep, 100,000 videos, okay. You know, it's like, that's not the flex you think it is. These people aren't your chat that believe that stuff, and that was the best part, because just having Phil have to answer to somebody. Something that he hasn't done in the 15-year career was so incredible. He's just so satisfying. Adam's response to everything. Like, I just don't get that, dude. Like, that's fine. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to tell you why that's wrong, though, but that's fine.
Something that I found really, really funny was that when he got pressed very hard, he kind of jumped to that emergency response and turned on the baby voice, like this sympathetic voice. And it was just in like victim mode immediately. He turns on the voice, and then it's like, well, you know, the people that they trolled me, they doxed my family, they want to hurt me, you know, I'm being abused every day, and it's just like they're just sitting there, they're not buying it. And
that was so transparent that when he did that, he just knew what he was doing.
It's really pathetic, man. And then Adam tries to start giving him some advice, and dude turns into a bobblehead. And then it's just like sitting there nodding. It's like your parents are giving you some lecture, and you don't really care, and you're not really gonna follow that advice, but you know that you have to agree because that's what you have to do. And then you move on when they.
Yep. You just have to wait it out. You have to ride the storm. Just ride the snake. And Phil taking criticism is like probably his least favorite thing to do in the world. And he starts rocking, and then he kind of just started melting backwards, and then he kind of just went down, and kind of was just like, okay, yes, Sir Adam, yes, Sir Adam. It was awesome.
There's a lot of this going on.
What?
Oh, hang on. They didn't hear it. Hang on. Have it again.
Correct.
There you go.
Right. It shows what sort of person he is when you put him in like direct conflict with someone else, somebody who was not buying his shit and pushing back. He completely crumbles. If that was anyone in chat, he'd be like, all right, get the fuck out of here, you're banned, and lean in. But because he's not got that power, because it's in a more equal setting where you're just talking to another person, he completely crumbles. He can't handle it. So, yeah, you're right. Yep, totally right. I'm sorry.
Sorry, sir. He didn't say sir at all, but he was feeling it. And he would just like, every time Craig would ask a question, he kind of perked up just an inch, a few percent. And then Adam would just come back and crush him down. He just, man, it was incredible to watch that, how much someone did not want to be there. Like that, to be fair, okay, I'll say one thing for Phil, like everyone else has said. I thought he was going to rage quit at this point. I said, all right, it's not going to last. And I told the day before, remember guys, I told you in Discord, I said, after I talked to Craig that night, I said, I don't think he's going to make it the whole thing because Craig knows what he's doing and he knows everything he needs to know. I don't think Craig's going to make it. And then when that interview started about an hour in, I still don't think it's going to make it because it takes something to sit through that, but if you go mentally through Phil's thinking, if he leaves, he loses. If he stays, he loses. So what can he do? Right.
Yeah, he had to sit it out for sure. Like just the ego, he wouldn't have been able to live it down. Not that he's now going to live it down anyway, but yeah, I think in his basic way of thinking, it was like, I've got to stick this out no matter what they say.
Go ahead, Meerkat.
Yeah, I mean, he had to stay on because, then the trolls are going to say, Phil, you ran away. You quit. I never quit. I'm like John Cena. Never give up. Never give up.
And remember, go ahead.
Do you guys think that the cutout in the at one point was legit then? Or do you think he panicked?
Oh, yeah. That's about halfway through. I like the theory. I proposed the theory. Someone else said I'm just taking credit for it.
It was a lag switch.
No, it was Cat pulling the plug.
Yeah.
That's the theory I subscribe to.
Yeah, she's done that. She pulled the plug out because she was hoovering or something. Fuck it, that's a call.
Oh, gee, old jokes are rolling in the super chats already. Thanks, guys.
I think Kat was so angry because the gaslighting that worked on her didn't work on two well-adjusted grown-ass adults. Yeah, so she got pissed off.
So a little bit before the DDoS attack. Craig asked a very good question to again get the talking going. He said, "What's a normal day like for you?" Right. So for any normal human on Earth, it's a very normal question. But unfortunately for our Phil, it's not a very normal question because it lets out these other questions. It just opens up the door to so many more questions, and they were going to the
glorious.
They were going to the angle of, don't you think that's kind of unhealthy? Like, what do you think about that? Like letting him kind of see what he said there. And his normal day, by the way, was totally he wakes up at 9 now.
That's his spiel, isn't it? That's what he tells the audience. We knew everything. Every time he wants to act like he's, a really busy, actual, mature adult, he gives that spiel of, I don't have any time because I wake up at this time and then I have to do this and then I have to stream this and then I only get like an hour to prepare food and then I have to do this, back to streaming. And we've all heard that before. He was giving exactly the same spiel as they get. But Adam and Craig were more like socially adjusted enough to be able to see it for what it was and go, nah, mate.
Yeah. Because I was thinking in my head, like, you've still got plenty of time to be doing these things. If you're saying you get up at that time, then you've got like an hour in the morning. I'm not sure how it falls when he starts streaming, etc. But he's still got plenty of time if he's getting up at 9 in the morning to get stuff done. blah blah blah. You know, sort some stuff out. Update your settings on OBS and all this stuff. But we all know it's not true. But yeah, and so that's where my mind wasn't what they said. This is unhealthy. It was like, no, you've still got time. So either way you look at it, it's like, it's unhealthy. Plus, it's like you're not really doing.
You
much,
could pick it apart that way as well, because there's all these little breaks in between, like streaming. It's like, well, there's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Why don't you go out and like grab a drink or something for 2 hours? Meet a friend.
Yeah, live some sort of life outside of your streams. Yeah, not just because the way he says it, like he tries to fill it with all this stuff and make it sound like there's so much going on, but really, there's not a lot there. And as I think everyone's now in agreement of, we all know what he's doing. So
yeah, That's Street Fighter game.
Street Fighter stuff. We're kind of cutting it, but it's still during all these answers, he's trying to put in it just inject troll nonsense, inject trolls. Like, what's a normal day like for you? Well, the trolls started doing this. He almost wanted to say, he didn't in that case, but like every single chance, he was trying to say troll stuff. Like that was just his total strategy. It was like, I want to bring up as much shit the trolls did to me as possible. That was his goal with the interview. And remember, guys, what he said to start the interview, this is going to be it. When someone asks any question about stuff, I'll point them to this interview. I wonder how soon after it started did he think, oh shit, this is not going to do that. But anyway, so he goes through the day. He said, is that really good? Is that a good life? You think that's a good, schedule and stuff? And Phil's like, well, I don't really know. But I mean, my social life is my laptop. And he said that kind of proud, like,
Lost my shit.
Steve, come on, make it make sense.
I lost my shit for like a year and a half. I've been screaming that. It's like, that is so unhealthy. How does he not understand that is like a damning indictment of the state of his life? That is so unhealthy.
But we're not even talking about like him chatting with people on Discord or Twitter or something.
No,
it's just
exactly.
people in his chat that inherently like him and agree with him. And if they don't, they're gone. So how is this like, this is even less healthy than the alternative, which is having like some internet friends that you talk to.
Exactly. Yeah, because I was going to say, like, for a lot of streamers, especially if it's your full-time job, it's probably not that unusual. There's probably a feeling of that where you are a big part of your social life is that, and you're certainly going to build relationships and things like that. But for one thing, other streamers will be actually building relationships outside of their streams, like Meerkat says, you'll have Discord, etc. But with Phil, it's just like we've said many, many times before, his only way of connecting with his fans is in that small stream, that stream chat that he can closely monitor. And it is just that kind of small people that he's whittled down to the ones that either don't care about what he does with his money or what he says or blah, 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 or don't understand. I think it's one of the two. And anyone else that comes in, whether you're a troll or a neutral, that just goes, hang on a minute, what do you mean? You're gone.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. And we haven't even been talking about, have you noticed, guys, not a single snort, not a single snort sack. Snuggle.
Picked up on it straight away. I was like, you can hear his aircon going throughout that whole thing, by the way. The fucking audio is terrible. His volume's so low.
He's so low.
The gain on his mics. We've talked about it before. I've got the same thingy as him, the same interface. The gain's way down on it because I guess he needs to compensate, because he's all over the place, isn't he? He's like this, but
that's his back. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So but you can hear it, so you can hear the aircon or you can hear the ambient noise in the office, and you can tell straight away. It cuts out so many times, and you can see him like,
He does. Is it a cough? I think he coughs. He mutes it, coughs, and turns it back on. It's just like, you will do it. You fucking cunt. How dare you? I'm sorry, Dad, if you're listening. But how dare you?
He said cunt, by the way.
People have said.
He told you the next day how he was able to do it because the software that they used to have the call had a mute button on it. It's not like OBS.
Revolutionary, bro. This is insane. This is 2023 technology.
That says it that says it all about the guy, though, man. And like Meerkat says, always says, you can just have a bloody hotkey on your keyboard, mapped to OBS to do the same job. He's just so lazy. It's ridiculous.
He was ripping them on that mute button. Turn the mute button. There was some loud ones going. You just know that. Jasper was like, "Whoa!"
Like during that bit when it cut out, he ran out the room and was just like, all of it out at once.
Cat's trying to play Skyrim and Thieves Guild. Like, what's going on? An earthquake? No, honey. He's got to take care of something. Okay, shut the fuck up then. Dinner by 7. He runs back in, waddles back in. Okay.
I don't know what that was. I think I was DDoS. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
That was the emptying of the sacks. The empty. Sometimes they get filled, as you know. We all know. We did skip over this is how you don't play. He was happy to bring up this is how you don't play. Anytime there's something to blame, Phil lights up. He has a very put together story whenever it's something to blame. That's what he's best at, telling a story. When this is how you don't plays happen. They blew up, and just all my shortcomings were exposed from this. All my shortcomings were exposed, and remember Adam had the good idea. Like you should have capitalized on that, right? And of course, Phil says this is when Phil's trying to be new. Phil said, "Oh, I just couldn't do that at that time. I wasn't able to do that." He kind of didn't talk about he tried to do that, but it was just too late. They talk about sexual content, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to another question was, what does meaningful mean?
Oh, that's my favorite word. I still don't know. I guess meaningful is when people tell you that you're doing good stuff for them, which is what we also get told by people. So I guess we do meaningful stuff. So there you go. It's answered.
Debo?
I think I even have a quote somewhere.
Yes, please.
Okay, so we have, I'm helping people. This is an actual quote. That's all I have.
Oh, okay. I'm helping people.
Jesus.
Whoa, thanks so much, man. So much support, guys. We'll read all the super chat. I promise we appreciate them so much, but we kind of want to keep it rolling on this. We got a lot of get to cover here. But thanks so much. Wow, that's insane. You guys are insane. And also the donations for that stream were going nuts, and everybody was saying good stuff. You guys are all legends in there. A lot of people, names we know. Sophie had a great one. What did she say again? She said like he's aging backwards or something. Oh, he's going through puberty backwards.
Yeah.
That was on the follow-up show. That one was very hot. That was outstanding.
Can I shout out Galath Knox, who got a super chat mentioning me and saying someone should check in on me and make sure I've got enough Lucasade. Thank you for that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so a few people. I know I saw Darksea to Flow. He shouted at us at some point.
Yeah,
so thanks for that.
Big ups.
And
Dabby did as well. Big ups, Dabby.
Yeah, Dabby, you guys are all legends.
Dabby.
Thanks so much, guys. That's awesome.
Yes, I will.
Okay, let's keep going here. So then,
before we
please.
Oh god, I had a point.
Meaningful.
When we are talking about we create content, and occasionally you do get a message from somebody saying, "Hey, look, I've got something shit in my life going on, and you help take my mind off it." It's a really touching thing, and it always takes me aback because it's never a thing I consider like as a goal or as a motivator or something I could use. It's just like, I'm creating because I want to create this content, and then I want to put these things out, and I like talking about this thing. I'm not thinking in the back of my mind, someone's going to get meaning for this. But Phil will weaponize it because every time he's using it to defend himself, to make himself look like he's vulnerable or he's important to someone. He's got value. The things that he has are worthy, but he's always weaponizing it. It's never a case of like just talking about it like we are now. It's always to sort of like say, look, I'm important, I'm valid, I mean something. That's why my content is like worthy. That's why I should be recognized. It treats him like that. It paints him in a positive light.
As much as I agree with you, I totally understand why he would be doing that. Because he spent 15 years trying to build this business, and now he gets up to 1,000 views a video without any drama. And there's a whole community of people laughing at everything he does because it's all ridiculous. And of course, at that point, you're going to look for justifications like, why am I still doing this? I'm looking for meaning in this. Like, what is the meaning of this? What did this all mean? All of these years eating hamburgers and playing video games. What did this all mean? And that's why we're looking at like emails from fans and super chats that say you're doing a great job and stuff like that, and we're taking it so to heart because that's why you gotta find some meaning.
Yeah, but that's also why we're here now, because that sort of quest to find value in the lifestyle that you've had and the life you've done is driving him mad. He can't find that value. The meaning is just one of many coping methods that he uses to sort of like push that reality aside, and they're not working. That's why he's getting like this now. That's why he's been having meltdown after meltdown, and we've ended up in this situation. He's obviously struggling with that idea. We are going to breakdown territory, lads. I hope you're ready.
Oh, I mean, doing this interview, I mean, this is so against what Phil, I guess it was the perfect storm, right? Craig was just the perfect person because he's an not old friend, but old acquaintance. Mm-hmm. So Phil kind of thinks we have a connection here. He's kind of on my side. He's not on those dirty detractor side. But Craig is also, another thing about Craig I didn't know. I knew he started Screw Attack, but it kind of changed to Game Attack, and then he got bought by Rooster Teeth, and he still worked there. However, their streams, he said, turned to a lot of about goals and tips, goals, stuff like that. And he didn't like that. So he's already a person that's kind of against that side of things. I didn't know this going into it. But then when he told me that, I was like, okay, so he kind of already does not think favorably of people begging for money. And if you watch those streams, that he showed me one of the streams they do, and now it's called like Kickoff or something, and they changed the name. But it's like $8 pizza slices, guys. If we get $8, we'll put a pizza slice on the screen. And it's just like, it's like Phil. I was surprised. I mean, they don't get as much hate as Phil, but they're doing begging. At least they're like positive begging, though. Like, yeah, we did it, guys. I mean, Phil does that too, but he doesn't. They don't guilt trip. But Craig got out of there because of that begging. So Craig was a perfect person. He's like this, just molded to the perfect interviewer. He had the perfect setup. He knew Phil from so long ago, and he hates this begging, and he just knows how to ask people questions and knows how to do his research. And he did. It was just everything came together for this, and that's why we got this awesome interview. Let's talk about next question that opened a whole new can of worms. Was talking. They kind of seemed like they didn't want to go there this early, but they did, and it was about the $5,000 a month. And they kind of, I suggested you might not want to do this personally. That's what I told Craig. Like, it's kind of like it's a deep saga. You got to talk about the bankruptcy. He might go to his kind of standby answers there, but they did it in a great way. Got Phil to talk about it in a new way, and kind of eased their way into it. Of course, they said, I don't like bankruptcy. Bankruptcy sucks, but we got to talk about it. $5,000 a month. What's that about, Phil? And Phil's response is, $5,000? What? That was his defense. What? What are you talking about? And that's literally how he tried to handle it. And they pressed more, and then finally got him talking a little bit. But go ahead, Sam.
Well, I was going to say a big theme of this, and I think the word to cover it is it obfuscation, something like that?
Obfuscate,
yeah. I think this was the big moment where that peaked for me. It was you never got a straight answer, and you didn't get many straight answers anyway. But for this, there was a lot of dancing around that question. And yeah, he even, I mean, he never got to the bottom of what they were trying to ask him. From his point of view, they were like, he was just saying, I don't even know where this has come from. It's just, wow.
It's like, come on, dude. Like it's irresponsible on so many levels. It's not like this great. You know how much you spend on your business. It doesn't matter if you give all the numbers to your tax man after that. You still know how much you spend. It's not like you're asking a crazy question. $5,000? What would that be? I don't even know. I just give all the numbers to my tax person.
Yeah. I mean, the question was, $5,000 on business expenses, and it never, ever got to that. I don't think. It was always just how much I'm spending in general. So we, it's instantly it's mortgage and stuff and all that kind of stuff, which I guess, like Craig said, you can sort of include in a business expense. I don't really know, but it never actually got to that from what I remember. It was just kind of a general list of everything he spends his money on, and it was a list, a real list.
That's when he got the paper, right? That's when he got the paper.
I don't know if that's when he got it, but okay, paper talk. He pulled out a piece of paper that said bills on it, and he put on the soy voice. Oh, you guys, okay, so I guess I have to show you this. I want to be honest and transparent to the best of my abilities. And then they didn't buy it. They were like making such like faces of disbelief in this whole time. It's like, dude, no, cut the bullshit. Get this piece of paper out of here.
That was the moment when, for me, he went from just like, you know, squirming under it to being like abusive boyfriend trying to get you back after you caught him cheating. He went like, well, I don't have to, but I guess I have to. I don't want to. And his voice started to break in, and he's starting to try to cry. And he gets, well, I just make a big deal out of it. And they're like, no, dude, you don't have to. You don't have to. We told you you don't have to do this. Don't do it. It's okay. It's fine. And no, well, I get it up and I'm going. And it's like, that is just such abusive behavior. He's doing that. He's like manipulating you. He's trying to make play on your emotions to back off him. You know,
the best part about it as well was him saying, "I'll put the paper back now." You know, he had to actually get up and do that. And that reminded me so much of the dunce laws. You know, when he was like, "I guess I'll close the box now because we're not going to hit that." Exactly the same thing.
Guess I'll close the box now, guys. Not gonna hit the Lewis goal. I don't do dunce luring though.
Oh, remember those days?
Oh, glorious!
Remember when that was wild?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, remember that was wild then. Those days. But we also this also gave him an opportunity to talk about trolls. He took every opportunity to talk about trolls.
Very, very quickly before we move on, could I give a quick shout out to Adam, because when Phil did the whole I'm getting up to do the paper thing, Adam's reaction was just like straight to camera. Yep. It's fucking perfect.
Dude's incredible. And he tried to inject total talk.
It's just so much. I'm sorry, but it's like he doesn't know, as a business owner, he doesn't know his business expenses. And he's never known that. That is fucking mental to me. I'm sorry. He says he's got a business degree, been doing this for like over 14 years, and he doesn't use a fucking spreadsheet to keep track of his business expenses. That's how is he 40 years old, guys? How did he make it to 40?
Yeah. And he's wasting time as well every month, so he says, or however often he's doing, actually writing it out. If this is what he's actually doing.
Oh yeah, that's the key point.
Yeah.
So no way that paper's not pre-prepared.
On the topic of the piece of paper, the next day, he brought the piece of paper up to show it to the fans. Of course, he had to fold it in bizarre ways. But on the piece of paper, he admitted it said that he wrote a reminder for himself to pay his bills next month as well, just so you don't forget.
You're like, oh shit, they're gonna come again, aren't they? Fuck.
Wait, Meerkat, can you ask me a yes or no question, please? Any yes or no question is fine.
Where did the load go?
Yes or no, bitch?
Did it?
Are you young?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hey.
Hang on. You guys can see this, right? Yes, that's true. He got it hanging up to the camera. It was all white as shit. I guess you guys are going to see it. Shoot. It says everything, though. That was after that. We should get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, they're holding that paper up to the camera. It was fucking classic. It was all faded out. Not faded out, but too bright. It was just so bright you couldn't see anything. He's like, oh, I guess you couldn't see it, but it had said everything.
And I don't know who he was trying to fool by writing down something on a piece of paper as if that is some sort of proof of anything. It's just you're writing something on a piece of paper.
I wrote on the bottom, next month, pay bills.
Yeah.
It's like a memento. The movie Memento. If you don't write it down, you don't do it. Pay taxes next month. Okay, glad I wrote that down. Thank God. We should talk about.
It's like he happened to conveniently have it there, so it's like either he's prepared in advance, or he's sat there thinking they might ask me about my bills. Should probably do something about that.
I know.
I'll write a list. He did time.
So he did mention Craig asked him if there's anything that he had to research on, to prepare, and DSP sent him his down the rabbit hole reaction, which is 8 hours long. Which is the worst fucking thing you could send him, but I guess go ahead.
That just shows. I'm not trying to flex, but when Craig asked me to give him advice, I had it bullet point. This is it. This is it. This is it. If you want more information, go down here because I'm not waste this opportunity. Phil, on the other hand, says, "Check out this 8-hour vid, bro. Cool. This will help." That's also he wants you to see all the context. Watch all my playthroughs. Right. That'll give you the context. All right.
And of course,
8 hours of that didn't happen.
He was also in touch with a lot of other people. We got to give him credit for that. Yes. He was actually actively looking for answers to certain questions, let's say, and to
Yes.
like research stuff like you should actually do to prepare for this. It's not like
Yeah.
he was biased. He just prepared well in case of, weird filibustering, rambling kind of answers, and to know how to navigate through that, because that can really like throw you like off.
Oh
beat.
yeah. I know he was talking. I know all the people. I don't know all the people. I know he's talking to a lot of people. I know he talked to Gundam. Obviously, he talked to Tevin. I know he talked to Prophet. I know he talked to Duty. I know he talked to a lot of people. Craig went all out, and I'm amazed he didn't get
it
too
showed.
much. Yeah. Oh
It showed
yeah.
the way he handled it. Fucking masterful.
Yeah.
You can tell he'd done his work.
And he didn't. The most masterful thing he did was not overdo it with he didn't go too deep in anything. Right. Just gave him enough. This is enough information. And if you try to go somewhere else, that ain't happening. We're staying on this path, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That was the beauty of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, like a lot of people were saying, he could have followed up the racism thing with the handbag thing or whatever it was, the backpack. Exactly. Yeah. But he didn't, and I felt like that there was a really good sort of balance there. He's just kind of keeping him on the hook almost.
Yeah, because you're right. Because what if you go backpack after that? And Phil might be out. Phil might be out, right? You can't overload,
You already saw his response to one of those clips, and it would be the same thing. It would be, again, I'm one of the most prolific content creators, and you can always find a clip of me saying something bad. I'm changing, and that's it. I'm not the same guy I was 5 minutes ago. So ask me something else.
I love when Adam was surprised it was last summer. He's like, that was last summer? That's not that long ago.
Well, he spent like 10 minutes talking about changing beforehand. You almost make it seem like he was completely a different person at this point. He went through like a metamorphosis of some kind.
The last stage of evolution, bro. It's not that long ago, dude. However, Adam said that was so awesome. That's not that long ago. I get that sound clip. Mercat, you got a lot of songs to make now. Please.
Well, we didn't play the ones that I had made, so I'm gonna think about it, guys.
No, we'll use that as an interlude. Halfway through, we'll play. Meerkat's got a not world premiere, but the members got to hear it already. If you're not a member, you didn't hear it yet, but it's gonna be premiered halfway through the show. It's about this interview. It's gonna be hot.
No, let's just play it at the end. Let's not break it apart. Let's talk about this. While we're
You're the boss. You're the boss. All right. So let's go. Of course, we should talk about when he talked about the 5K. Of course, Phil brought out the trolls, and he said because of the trolls, it was hours of work for me. They had to go line by line through all the itemized expenses, which, you believe or not, I don't know. If you go line by line, there's so many, the contradictions on the bankruptcy form are so legendary. Like, I spent 100 hours on pets. Do you have pets? No. It seems like you might catch that in an itemized breakdown that takes hours. I don't know. I've never been in one of those, luckily. But, I mean...
That's why it's so hard to judge, because, like, what... I saw personally was like the initial filing, and then it got amended like 15,000 times because he basically filled it in his sleep all while he was drunk or something, so it wasn't accurate. And somebody was like, Phil, this doesn't make sense, make it make sense. And then he wrote some different stuff. So eventually what happened, I have no idea. So it's hard for me to judge what the actual outcome was.
Yeah.
You got lucky because of COVID, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If lockdowns weren't happening, he would have been.
And because he was like remarkably trolled to a very hilarious extent, where like the whole call was streamed on Twitch, and for some reason a lot of people had access to that call, so there was like 50 people on the line, and some dudes were playing like the "Why Am I Toxic" voice clip.
Yep.
Oh, right at the end, yeah, I fucking love that. Whoever did that is a legend.
Yeah. What was that? Excuse me. Classic line.
Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, that's it. Could you repeat that, please? Yes, that's true.
Now?
All right. So this conversation was kind of left on make it make sense, and there's no conclusion to the conversation. Phil just kept talking. They're like, doesn't make sense, bro. We got to move on, though. That was a chance for you to say some shit. You didn't say nothing. Fail. Next question.
Because that, he's clearly lying and dancing around the question, and that, whether you know him or whether you don't know him, and you're asking another human being a question, that's being disrespectful to two people's faces. So just that is enough to piss them off, So yeah. So I can see why. why Adam was getting so kind of, I wouldn't say he was emotional, but you know, he didn't hold back, and you can kind of see why. It's like, well, you're lying to my face, you know.
You can see from that point on, because they go a bit harder after that.
Mm-hmm.
They go a bit harder and they press him more, especially in the next 2 or 3 questions. They really start to press him.
Yeah,
where because obviously they're like, oh, look, mate, I'm fed up of you lying. Just fucking be honest.
I can kind of understand why Adam would get so worked up about stuff, because there's something oddly irritating about somebody who is so obviously stupid trying to bullshit you and trying to like gaslight you into like a fake reality. And it just pisses people off when you see somebody do it. It's like a weird telemarketer or something. When it's obviously there's something that going on there. They're trying to manipulate you into some kind of outcome.
Yeah, they've got that kind of that script in front of them, and they're never going to deviate from it. And if they, you know, you are asked a certain question, and they'll go on this branch, and he, you know, Phil's got all that kind of stuff mapped out in his head, you know, just kind of like, or to a point, I guess.
Years of practice with chat, that.
Yeah,
he knows everything, that all his excuses he's got, because he's had to use them before on chat, and on his chat it works. They bought it, so he's never had to like really advance his skills further. But obviously, the moment he met people who weren't chatting, would push back. He was completely inefficient, and he just collapsed.
What I think is one of the most remarkable things is how confident he was going into this. Like, he really was in his zone. He convinced himself that he's like straight shooter. He can go there. He can show up. He's going to stay there the whole time. They can ask him anything. And then they did. And it was a disaster. And he couldn't even admit it to himself until 2 days later.
That's his narcissism. He has complete overconfidence in his skills and abilities. He thought he would be able to convince them just as easily as he convinced his chat, not knowing that they're actually 2 grown men who have socialized throughout their lives and not the people who will end up in your chat. So
hold on, Steve. You made it sound too like they're like too high level. You could lower that out, but they are normal human beings. That's all you have to say.
Just normal
human beings. Yeah, that's it. Normal human beings hear that bullshit. It's like, what are you saying, dude? That's not at all what we asked. But you want to answer the question or what? And then if they keep doing that, you get pissed. That's what Adam was feeling. I bet it's like, what's going on here, man? This is your chance, you know. And one more thing I told Craig to do, and Craig was on this, you know, totally. He said, DSP has a very big victim complex, right? As you all could tell. So if we kind of frame it like we're in this together, because the interview is, whether you're trying to do this kind of interview or not, like you're kind of not dancing with the other person, but it's a thing you're going together, a journey you're going on together. If you make Phil, and it's a true thing, it's not like I'm making lie, but just play up that aspect of like, we're going together. We're doing this together. People don't want to, it's not like Craig knew everyone's going to love it. He was really worried about people not liking the interview. It's like, I don't know how this is going to go, Phil, but let's do it together. And I think that strategy might have helped Phil feel confident, I guess. I don't know, though. I'm just guessing. Go ahead, Meerkat.
Yeah, the thing is that it wasn't supposed to be like a trap to get him on his side. It was supposed to like actually try and get him to admit to stuff and get him to help himself.
Yes.
Or to be receptive to help. And he didn't. They gave him plenty of options. I'm sure we're going to get to that eventually.
Yeah. Somebody in chat made a good point. Like, Phil is not just lying to his new fans. You know, Cat's watching, right? And he can't, a lot of stuff that Cat might not know about that he can't share. Because what happens if he lets that go? I know a lot of people said, like, if he didn't admit to any of that stuff, it'd also be like his bankruptcy would be fraud and stuff. And I don't know all the details about how that would work, but let's pretend they do have a real marriage, which as we all know, is probably not true. And we'll get to more about that later, how much he brought her into that shit when she did not have to be brought into it at all. Fuck. We'll get into that. My girl, you don't fuck with my girl, man. That's fucked up. That's fucked up, dude. But it's just like, he just couldn't stay on topic. And he had no way to answer the questions rather than just deflect. It was just deflection central because he can't answer the questions because he probably thinks in his mind, there's zero chance I can answer these questions honestly. I just can't do it because it might break my marriage if I answer these questions honestly. And I might go to jail and shit. I might have to, like, I know what Craig was trying to do, but I think Phil really thought, I can't do it. I can't. No matter how much I might want to, I can't. Just think about it. Bankruptcy, I don't know how much, like, will anyone come after you if you 4 years later say like, oh yeah, I did bankruptcy fraud, but do people really care about that? I don't know how that works. I know chat's going to tell me they probably do, but is that really true? I don't know.
First of all, I think he's been reported multiple times at this point because there's a link that is publicly accessible where you can go. I'm sure plenty of people have done that. And I think unless he explicitly admits to doing it and probably the way he did it, nothing's going to happen to him. But of course, I mean, it's DSP, so you never know.
Yeah. And that's a good point we didn't talk about yet. He kept bringing up Wo Long. It's like, why are you bringing up Wo Long so much? That was like in his holster. Like, let me bring up Wo Long. It's going to go great.
God, do you know what? That's like one of the worst ones as well, because most of this playthrough has been, guys, I fucking hate this game. You better support it. If you want to see me play it more, support it, because I fucking hate it. And I'm doing this for you. It's like, why are you bringing that up? No,
it's and the way he kind of plays it off is like, you know, that my fans, they just love to see me rage. You know, it's just something I do. It's all part of the shtick. Yeah,
something silly I do. And he kind of blamed his fans for the stupid stuff he does. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Like just blame his fans now. My fans make me do stupid stuff. Like it's gonna sound stupid to you guys. Feasting with the king. It's so fucking dumb. But
hey Phil, why do you call yourself the king?
There you go.
Why do you still call yourself the king? Oh, yes, that's something I need to work on.
I need to phase it out. I'll replace it. But, you know, people tell me don't replace the old things. They like the old things. So I've not replaced it yet. But, yeah, you're right. I need to replace it.
Just blame, the king of blame. Just everyone's on the table. Everyone's on the table.
King of blame.
King of blame or king of hypocrisy, projection. I think is the big, or projection.
I like that. Yeah, Adam said that one. That cut like a knife. He said,
I was so happy when he said that.
That sounds like projection, bro.
Projection,
Oh, there's a couple of quotes that I have, and they're of course out of context, but I think we're kind of close to that point. They said it between the first and second hour. It was it seems like you're already defeated, not even trying. Yeah. Next one. That sounds miserable to me. Next one. It sounds like you're trying to convince yourself. Next one. You have a business plan. Are you saving money? Dude, you're 40 years old. And then I have written as a note, Adam and Craig did a better job in 2 hours than Dave and Linda could for 41 years.
Whoa.
Oh.
And then I have another quote. I just want to play games and chill.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Real quick, I want to talk about the business plan.
I'm sorry, last one, because it's juicy. I'm sorry, Phil. Begging for money is never a good look for anyone.
Yes. And I don't want to get to the negatives. There's so much positive. The 1% negative I have is I feel like they could have pushed more on the begging aspect. I mean, it shows how fucked up Phil is. There's so many other things to go to. Like the begging was kind of like in the back burner. Like I was like, I think there's so much there with the begging. Like that's like my biggest beef with Phil, and that makes me like watch Phil for the interesting part of it is like, how can you do this relentless begging? Just without soul, beg your fans. They mentioned it, of course. They get like that statement there, but
in all fairness to them, they're sort of like really cautious of the fact that if you push him too hard, he will quit. He will storm. I mean, he even said beforehand he would. So you don't want to push too hard because you still want to keep him on. You want to keep him on to see what else he will reveal and what else you can get out of him. You don't want to push it too hard, though. So they're making that call constantly. You know, Craig more than Adam. So Craig's mainly sort of like watching it and sort of like making a read of it and going, okay, now I'll move on, or should I push this? So, you know, I think he handled it really well. Obviously, he's not perfect. You're not going to please everyone. And I do it like there was a few things where I thought I'd have pushed him on that, but I think he did a really good job overall of handling him.
Yeah.
The thing is with the begging though is that it's not like it's a juicy question, is it? It's like he begs, you know, and we can all see it. You know, it's not like you need to get him to confess to begging. You know, there's other things you can push on. And you know, if you want to see his mask off with relation to money, just go to yesterday's stream, the follow-up stream where he reacts, and you start to hear the little things about how much money they made during that stream and during the reaction stream. You know?
That was the first thing he mentioned. First thing on the tip of his tongue, that forked tongue was how much money they make. Well, we'll
Oh,
not
yeah.
get
Oh,
ahead of
very
ourselves.
quickly
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
because I like pimping myself out. Yesterday, when I did the React stream with Decepticon, he said before that Phil will beg at the start of the video, he'll beg at the end of the video, and he'll beg in the unrecorded bit. So it's like you get beg, beg, beg sequences like that. And I thought, it can't be that bad. And it was. He does. It actually happened. So that 2 days after being like, yeah, I really need to sort out the begging. I know it's an issue. And,
Yeah, that's
trolls and everything.
That's a good point, because you're right. There's no interesting answer there, right? Really, just like, yes, I do. I'm working on it. Sorry, we all. In fact, what's he say? Like, I'm
flawed
human.
Yeah,
Flawed
yeah.
human. Flawed human. Fallible. I love the business plan question. Do you have a business plan? So Phil, of course, says like he says no at first, but then gets talked into like, oh yeah, one of those. Yeah, I have that. Yeah. So wait, what is your business plan? And like he had nowhere to go except get people to give me more money was like the underlying theme there. I need more money. That's my business plan.
Or it was like I had a business plan, but again the trolls fucked it up for me.
Yeah, and he said he needs 1 year to make content with no trolling, and then he'll be able to have a business plan, or at least he's gonna be on track.
So then we're about 2 hour mark. I'm using your notes here, Meerkat, and Craig brings up a question of like, what's the responsibility of a content creator in the audience, right? And of course, all of us lore masters know who we think he's going to talk about. Right, we know who he's talking about, but Craig quickly puts the kibosh on that. When Phil's like, "I think we know who you're talking about, right, Craig?"
Beautiful.
And figure no. I don't want to hear anything about any personal members of your community. It's about you. This interview's about you, Phil. What do you think? And then Phil has nowhere to go, so his answer is like, "What do you guys think? What do you guys think?" Just trying to get him talking. It was obviously about Derek.
You can see all these defense methods coming out. It's like projection, there's deflection, there's obfuscating. There, he's putting it back on you, he's darvoing. It was amazing. Just from like a psychological perspective, it was just a complete unraveling.
He had no good answer for that, and he just kind of ran that question. I think, then we start talking about the 50,000 from Keem. Came up, and it would solve so many problems. It would, and this is when Craig was ready for the Keem email. Even he said that he's like, I got the email ready for Keem to get on here, because Craig knows getting Keem on is a big deal. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Keem getting on there would be a big deal. Phil says no, I'm not going to work with Keem. It's brought to my again. Blaming fucking Cat. My wife said wouldn't be a good idea. We talked to my wife. I don't want to accept that. I wish they pressed a little bit more to say like, so you'd rather beg then. Right, because that's the question we're all thinking of. But he kind of let it go at that point, and this is when the internet went down. At that point was when it went down, and then we get the Keem is in chat message. Okay, oh shit, Keem's in chat right now. It's heating up. Phil goes away, and at this point, did any of you in the panel think it's over? Because I definitely thought for a minute it might be over. Phil might not come back.
I actually wasn't listening at this point. I was I don't know, eating dinner or something, just doing life stuff, and I quickly had a look at my phone. I was like, shit, Keemstar's there and Phil's not. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I didn't know. So before I think I missed the. Yeah, I'm out of order here, because then the WWE Champions talk was before Keem, right? Or was that after Keem?
Well, they did talk about Keem for a little bit before he joined, because it took him some time until he joined. But they did talk about champions before he joined. Yeah, and I think leaks and other stuff.
Yeah. So that's kind of when we get to the apex of the word we're all waiting for, WWE Champions. So it's WWE Champions time, and then do you play WWE Champions? And Phil so smugly, so like a word. Yes. So that question is, why are you so hesitant to talk about it? Great follow-up from Craig is, why are you so hesitant to talk about that if you do play it? And this is when he goes on a long one. He says that, everything I do, it gets out of proportion. If I lie about it, that'll kill the rumors. But if I say I do play it, people are going to take it out of context. He kind of went this long road down to saying, like, this is the trolls with their big master plans making something out of nothing. And I never went at him. So why don't you prove it, right? Well, you prove it. I can't disprove it because I'll do more stuff with that. he had nowhere to go with this. Nowhere to go. And we're still working on this question. This question was a beginning of an arc to something. But go ahead, Steve, first.
No, I just wanted to point out that's another defense mechanism he's doing there, because that is a very simple question to answer, but it involves opening yourself up and being honest. So he has to go down there. Well, you need to know this thing about my life first, front loading it all with information, because he's going to con you. He's going to lie to you, rather than just say, like, I feel embarrassed because it's wrestling, or something like that. Or I've spent a lot on it. Rather than just answering the question, you have to get the backstory, you have to get the history, and it's because he needs to front load that information, so you're more likely to accept the lie he's about to tell.
And this is why this dynamic between Craig and Adam works so well, because Craig was familiar with the ways that he could expect DSP to address certain answers, and Adam was just there soaking in what he could at the moment and thinking about it objectively of what is actually happening. So that's why they both, I called them out on different things at different times, because they both have two different approaches, and it worked great.
Yep. And like Adam not being weighed down by all this other lore, he's living in the moment, right? So, okay, this is a good question. Let's see where they're going with. I know Adam knew a lot of stuff, but like he was not ready for the next one. He's like, all right, now we're WWE champions. So can you please answer that? That answer was weird, man. I'm just not buying it. What's going on? But then Adam starts dropping bombs. He says, have you spent a lot of money on this game? This is like a lawyer talk starts coming. Have you spent a lot of money on this game, sir? And I feel, what's a lot of money? Have you spent over $100 on this game? Yeah, I think I have. Back when it first came out.
This is also what people tell to Phil when he says, hey, I have to pay a lot of money in bills. Hey, what's a lot of money, Phil? So you know that he knows to ask the question, but when he says things in this kind of obfuscating, kind of vague way, he expects people to question him, then of course they get banned. So he knows what he's doing when he tries to mislead people with like, I owe a lot of money. I didn't make a lot of money today on stream, but what's a lot of money, Phil? And he knows when to ask that question.
Yep.
Narcissists and liars live in those sort of obfuscated moments because there's nothing that you can concretely pin them down on. Stuff like, a lot is subjective. We might all have different ideas about what constitutes a lot. So when they say spend a lot, you can go, well, what is that? So it allows him to sort of like dodge slightly and move about and hopefully shift the goalposts enough that he can avoid it.
Yep.
So,
and Adam was perfect there. Said anything over $1 is too much if you don't have enough money.
Yeah.
Anything over $1, Phil's mind is like, oh, fuck. God damn it. Over $1. Are you kidding me? And then
that's the best way to kill that. That's the best way to kill that. Like, what is a lot? How much are you debating? Well,
yep. Don't fuck around. More than $1 is a lot if you don't have enough money, Phil. And then Phil's like, well, and then he finally got to like not over 1,000 or something. That came out somehow. I can't remember exactly. But that's a lot. That's a whale, man. Just that is a whale.
He was spending over $100 back in like 2017 when he actually was talking openly about this kind of stuff. And he mentioned he spent like way more money. Like you can go back and listen to him talk about Supercard. He was spending hundreds of dollars, if anything, not just over $100, whatever that means. Of course, now we're back to like vague terms. And the total is not over 1,000, apparently, according to him. But this is, of course, as we see later on, he fails to provide any kind of tangible evidence to back up his point. So
this is where Craig was working to this moment, right? They're working towards they also ask him, are you addicted to this lifestyle a little bit? Kind of get that going before they got to this question. Then they go like, all right, why do people think you're a whale then? And Phil says, I don't know. Then Craig starts dropping the facts, right? He knows the facts. Hey, they call you a DSP. That's your Twitter handle. And then Phil kind of then he goes, well, then you changed your name to Down from the Rafters. They said that you did the Down from the Rafters shout out. And then Craig says, okay, well, here's Phil. I'm going to give you a great chance right now. Great chance to end this all right now. Show me a screenshot. Finish it. Finish this, Phil. Finish it right now. This is your chance. And what does Phil do? This is it.
I'll have to look into how feasible that is.
Yeah.
I think it's the exact phrase.
He said he sort of muttered, I need to go or I need to think about this, or I need to go and speak to my wife about this or something.
What is she going to say?
Yeah.
Okay. What has she got to do with this?
Let me ask you this, guys. And as Craig said, make this make sense, please. A person who has prepared perfectly for an interview and he knows that nothing is off the table. He knows this is exactly what they're going to ask him for.
Yep.
and he got to tell you that he has to think about how feasible this is. He's not prepared for this question and to provide proof.
Great point.
Then it kind of seems like he doesn't want to provide proof. So
Great point.
obviously, instantly, he looks guilty. Instantly.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
If there's one question you got to be ready for, it's like Bill Clinton after the Monica Lewinsky thing. You got to be ready for that question, man. Phil, whenever your champion just Phil's Monica Lewinsky is the stain on the dress. You got to be ready, bro.
I did not have sexual relations with that Hogan.
All I can taste is salt.
Oh, God.
Yes, that's true.
Is that where the load went?
Oh man, that's coming. That storyline is coming. Yes, that's true.
So Phil.
Oh God, we need to get the show. Yes, that's true. We need to make it short where I don't want to ruin it. I don't want anyone to steal this fire.
By the way, the yes, that's true. For people that don't know the actual context, I believe the quote is, "People say I'm a pedophile. Yes, that's true."
Yes, that's true. So then Craig and them start going through the bank leaks in tandem with the WB champions. And they get to that leak talk, right? No, first excuse me. We're not done WB champions yet. Excuse me. They say, it doesn't make sense that someone is a whale that stole your name and they spend so much money on the game, like to troll you. That's kind of weird. Like, is that the story you're going with?
Yep.
Just want to make sure. They said that a few times. Like, I just want to make sure this is a story you're going with. Yes. And that was it.
Every time they did that, that was like in an interrogation where you go, "Are you sure this is your final statement? Are you sure you don't want to make any more changes to this statement?" And when you are being asked that repeatedly, it's because they know you're fucking with them. They know you're lying. They are giving you the opportunity to come clean because they have evidence against you. And he didn't pick up on that. He didn't twig. I'm being asked multiple times. There's a reason for that, proper interrogation techniques,
That's like when you're on the lie detector and they ask you the same question several times. That's because you lied.
Yeah. Yeah. They want to see like your reaction or your response. It's like exactly the same. It's like, "You really sure? One last chance. You can change it if you want." No. Okay, fair enough. Then what about this? And that's what follows. That's what follows. They start hitting it with the bank leaks. It's like the shops in your area, a car, and he's like, "Oh, actually, I own a car. I only own one car. It's quite small. Why would I spend that much money?"
Let's actually get into this point by point, because these are the most detailed notes that I have about this. So
yes,
I want to make use of them. So leak talk, we start by hundreds of transactions, over hundreds of thousands of dollars. Were they yours? The answer is no. Then the answer is they are not accurate. Then the answer is that is not my account. Then
go ahead.
Then he says they did not have access to my bank account, which has been contradicted multiple times with several different stories, ranging from they stole $9,000 from me to they couldn't steal anything because I had two-factor authentication on.
Didn't somebody do a short about that was received quite well, I believe? A short video about that, I think. Somebody that we know, maybe.
Officially, it was that being said.
Yeah, officially. and so Phil is given like 4 different answers there, So were they yours? No, they're not mine. They're not accurate. They're also not mine. So they didn't hack my account. He's just throw as many answers as you can get. I'll just keep throwing them. Please take one, Adam. Please get away from me. I'll throw as many answers as you need. I can't give you the truth, though. That's what it felt like to me. That whole segment was like, let me just keep throwing shit at them until they don't know what's what. So it's not my account. They're not accurate. Oh, it's really not my account. They didn't hack my account. They don't have access to my bank account. Just throwing it out there. But I did not let that go. Go ahead, Sam.
No. And on top of that as well, all the contradictions, you then get to the beautiful part with Adam saying, you didn't go to the police. And he's like,
what's your crime number? What was the case number? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, well, yeah, didn't you go to the fucking police? But and he says no. Why? He doesn't understand why you would do that. And Adam's like, to fucking get the person that did it? And Phil was like, I guess, maybe, you know. It's like,
I'll bet through Pig Go, you can find him talking about saying, I had to get the police involved.
probably.
Oh yeah,
around the time. I bet you
100%.
can.
100%. He did that.
His interview answer was that back in the day, I think when he got swatted, he went to the police and they told him, which I think it was like 2017 or something, and they told him they couldn't do anything about it. So he'd realized that there's no way he was gonna get the police involved because they wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
When you get identity stolen.
Didn't they say like they only do human trafficking now?
Yeah.
The police only do human trafficking now.
Yeah.
That's
Tough
it.
world over
All
here in
of the
America,
crimes.
guys.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
American
say. Just to end it with, it was like, I guess what I've got to do is tell you more about the crap I've been through, you know, after being asked about the...
Have you heard about my trolls yet?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about being fired
You
from the
did good
helicopter
too, man.
company.
You know about what a helicopter is?
We didn't get we didn't get one mention of
We
a
got
helicopter,
fucking
did we?
close.
We
though.
did. I'm sure we got
Fucking-
one mention, but he didn't go into detail. But we did get one mention of that.
I thought he
Did
said
we?
I got
Okay.
laid off. I thought he just said I got laid off. I
Yeah,
don't
he
think the
brushed past it
helicopter
really
word.
quickly,
Yeah, the helicopter word didn't come out.
Yeah.
Dude, good big up to you, man. You did a great job too on that call. We might get to. Hopefully, we get to that.
Yeah,
a lot to
man.
get through here too. But so this is what Phil is at the lowest of the low, looking the worst. Right? Anyone that doesn't know who this dude is turns into this, and it's like, this is a criminal. There's just no answer for anything at all. Do you want to go to the police? Didn't go. What? Why don't you go? I mean, what? And this is Phil starts getting the sad look, right? He's kind of like, I want this to end now, but they don't. That oven, the heat starts getting turned up. Let's look at the bank statements in more detail, Phil, if you don't mind. And he starts talking about. And then Phil says, "Yeah, it could be someone else's account, I guess." Right? And just think about the logic jumps that are required there. This is worse than WB Champions logic jumps. They have to live around Phil, go to the same stores Phil goes to
on the same day.
On the same
time.
days. Also use Apple iTunes as much as it does. So basically, it has to be the same person that has the WB Champions account.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah.
And Phil, and that's again, they said, that's the story you're going with. Because that is massively, massively unbelievable.
Look. ALT. He has only one cat. There was so much money spent at PetSmart that a person with one cat physically cannot spend that much money. Okay. So the bank leaks are not his. He's been absolved of any kind of guilt. Obviously.
But then they add, I love that because then they add on the sort of like more pressure of, but you talk about these things on streams as well. We could go back to the streams from that time, and you're talking about going to these restaurants and going shopping for pet food. He's like, but you know, a cat only costs so much. Why would I spend? Watching him crumble was amazing.
Yeah, like that is the story you're going with. Like it just blew out of his mind. Like this is it. I just want to make sure. Because this is insane to me. This is what you're going with? Okay. And that is kind of like they checked out for a second. Like, all right, this guy's dumb. We can't. He's not. It's over.
I would like to ask you guys as pet owners, as I'm the only one who is not. They do sell other things in pet stores other than cat food, right?
Sometimes they do. They look like fit your wallet almost. They might be cards you could use for other establishments.
And
like
some of them
give them as gifts.
Exactly.
Some of them perhaps sell gift cards, correct?
It could be.
It's not unknown. It's not uncommon.
It's a big world out there.
Yeah. But on the iTunes, while we're on that, his debunk to the iTunes point was that he gets the money in his PayPal, right? Why would he move it to his bank account when he could spend the money from his PayPal on microtransactions?
Yeah, when
was that it? It just like it made so little sense that I'm not entirely sure on what his stance on this was, because it makes absolutely no sense. Because he has in the past admitted to exactly how the microtransaction thing works. He has asked for people to buy him iTunes gift cards for Christmas. He has asked his relatives, and he admits to this on a former Hate Live once in the past, on an Ask the King. And it's like, he has told everybody how this works. And now he's trying to gaslight us into some other narrative that makes absolutely no sense. And he has also admitted, when he gets chargebacks, that his account goes in the minus because he transfers all his money into the bank account.
Yeah. He's explicitly said that he almost instantly withdraws that money.
Yeah,
So-
that's his like
Pays
that's
the
his
fee.
that's his strategy, bro. Because then you can't get it taken away from the other bills. That's his strategy. He has said this. That's not a joke. That was his strategy when you're low on money, is take it out instantly so the bank can't take it out for other bills and take the hit on the fee. That is a strategy.
I do sort of wish, though, at that moment they had that clip where he's talking about having iTunes gift cards left over because he doesn't listen to music, and he's explicitly talking about spending it on WWE champions from like 2017. It's a really old, and I just wish they had it at that point so they could go, well, Phil, do you remember how we talked about racism and then we had a clip? You're gonna enjoy this and then play that.
I wish this is the dream. I mean, please, I'm not taking anything away from what Chad and Craig did, because but this, I wish right then they said, well, I want to ask about this car thing.
Right.
You know, because it's game over if you bring up that. You baited the trolls into exposing that account, and on that, there's a Firestone transaction that happened on the same exact day. What's your answer to that? That would be game over. That would be game over. He would have to admit it at that point, I think. I mean, he probably wouldn't. He'd say something like, that could be someone else, dude.
Yeah.
And that's like,
You can look forward to that in part 2, or when he's a chill regular guest on there.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be great. When they get into that normal nonsense, it's going to be great. Let's play Mario Kart, Phil. Yeah.
With him just raging. Like.
Hey, Phil, is this DSP or Phil?
Can I just briefly jump forward? Because we're talking about the part 2. I think my favorite part of it is going to be when he goes, so, Phil, welcome back to part 2. When we last left off, you were talking about grooming your girlfriend and abusing your wife. Because you wanted to bring that up at the end. So, should we open with that?
All right, Phil, we're going to start part 2 here. Last time you left us with some batshit insane stuff. You expect us to understand. Do you want to change any opinions there? Okay, good. Let's go.
It's like not only did he have a hand-drawn list of his bills, he also had one with like things that I can make them feel sorry about me for. Yeah.
That's his list.
Pity list.
It was his checklist. It's everything he wanted to mention. Yeah.
And that was like
know.
the last thing, and it was like, I've got to get it in somewhere. Yeah.
The levels of acidity in my body are too high, so sometimes when I eat a lot of red meat, I get what is called gout. Now, gout is a condition, so and so and so.
Hey,
and also, I have a bad back.
Enough about your feet, Phil.
It just, that was my favorite bit, because they're like offering him out at that point. We're like, well, it's been a long time. We're wrapping up now. You know, end of the interview. Do you feel like there's anything else you want to address, or have we covered everything? They're giving him an out. They're giving him a, should we wrap this up and go? And he's like, actually, no, let me bring up these 2 horrendous allegations that I've not mentioned.
We'll get there. We still need to get through all Keem first. Let's get to Keem.
Hey, stop derailing your own podcast, Steven.
Hey, sir. Topic. Keep it
this
chill.
is why people want Robo Steve back in it.
He was so simple, man. He was so simple.
Could Robo Steve make a comment, Sam, if you don't mind?
Not just yet. So
no. He's been replaced by burgers.
Load him up. Turn him on. Take some water, warm up.
All right. Yeah.
Chuck a Lucas say that, he'll be fine.
Yeah. Give me a sec.
Yeah, please. We'll wait. Let us know when it's ready.
I hope you're enjoying this, Dad.
Let's decompress. Decompress for a second.
Right.
But anyways, this is what Craig said. Yes. There we go. So Craig said there's a lot
I
here.
updated my stream deck and everything's fucked. So.
It's all right. We forgive you. We forgive you. So Craig said there's a lot to net up here, Phil, and this is your chance. I feel you're letting the chance go right now. And they did say, do you play any other mobile games? And then Phil again goes into his smug. Yes.
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 Are you addicted to mobile games? No.
Which mobile games does he play? He plays the obvious choice, which is the new Street Fighter mobile game that has, from what I've seen from people in the Discord, it has pretty predatory gacha style mechanics. So I'm looking forward to that saga.
Guys,
I bet he's
this
played
is
that
another...
Marvel one. That
Oh
one
yeah,
that's been
definitely.
advertised on YouTube. Is it like the card battle one? I think I don't know what it is, but there's a Marvel one that's out now. You'd be playing that.
one Phil skill we don't give enough credit for, his ability to get over addictions. It's really incredible. Also depression.
Yeah. Former alcoholic.
Former alcoholic, still can drink now though. Awesome.
Yep.
I mean, that's incredible. Former gotcha game addict, still plays global games. Just he could keep it under control. That's what I really respect him for, is keeping it under control, not spending $100,000 on mobile games. It's really cool. Not getting hammered on gin every
$10
night.
to $15. That's it.
Oh, 10 to 15. I mean, what's that? That's one DoorDash fee. That's nothing.
Yeah, it's
It's just another thing they could have pressed him on, isn't it? Because I don't think they did with that. They could have said, "Wait, you used to be an alcoholic, or you used to be an addict."
I wish they did. I lost my shit at that bit.
He did have a response on his addressing their post show, where it was basically, "Oh, you guys don't believe that people can grow and evolve?"
Oh yeah,
because they mentioned that. I think Adam mentioned that on their decompression type thing, and then DSP reacted to it, and that was his reaction basically.
Yep. All right, so let me kind of that felt like a big moment there. You felt the kind of the pressure of the room was there. You really felt that kind of drama, and it was a chance. It was a chance, and that kind of passed. A little bit of air went out of the room for a second, and they all said, "Hey man, this is your chance. It's it. All right, we got to move on here." They kept going, and then again, Craig said this line: "I'm offering you an easy out here. Take a quick screenshot, email to me. This is the chance. You know, you can shut up a lot of people right now." And
yeah, he said it's very simple, man. And then the response was, "I'll think about it." Mm-hmm. The man who prepared for every single question said he would think about it for the most obvious question. That makes me think he's innocent.
What's that guy's name? The comedian that died. I used to drink, but I still do too. That joke came to mind. You know, Mitch Hedberg. I used to drink, but I still do too. I used to play mobile games, but I still do too. But it's just whatever. So then we get to we have to talk about the escort. Phil, of course, wants to bring up that escort story. That was in the cooker for a while, just cooking in that oven, waiting for the right chance. It was not the right time to bring it up, but Phil, of course, just punched it in there. And Craig, so awesomely, I was worried, maybe he won't say it. Craig said, no. Didn't your trolls figure out that was a fake story? And Phil was just like...
After the fact.
Whoa. Did not know what to do there. He was just on his back foot so hard at that point. But that was done. Then Craig kind of went back at the 5K thing. Kind of went back at it. I think there's more here, which I was kind of surprised by.
It's the link with champions, though, isn't it? You've been talking about champions and the spending. You might as well loop back into it because you've established previous things there that you can draw on and sort of bring them in here and say, well, this behavior here shows this behavior here, and start tying it together.
That's not a bad point. One point, Adam brought up the incident, which I know Craig told me they're not going to talk about, but Adam just couldn't resist.
You can't
and then we
resist,
got the beautiful line. You got to beat those demons, Phil. And I was like, instantly, fuck it. We got to make a song about that. Beat those demons.
But you could tell, because that was the moment when Craig's camera or mic, it was his mic, wasn't it? Because he got an update or something, and his mic cut out. But you notice, any time that anything like that happened, where the internet had stutter or that segment, Phil was instantly stopped talking. He's like, whoa, what's going on, guys? It's like anything for just some sort of out. And he was,
what I noticed? It was anytime Craig's thing got messed up, DSP would completely ignore anything that Adam was saying and just focus on Craig.
Yeah, great.
So Adam would be talking about, Phil, you should, have some savings and stuff. Craig, I think your microphone is fixed, man. I think you're back.
Yep.
Yeah, you're so right. He did not want to hear from Adam. Halfway through, he was like, he hated Adam. He's like, oh my God, I want to kill him. Adam is Howard. Howard is Adam.
Yeah. Great comparison in this relationship. Yeah, definitely.
Hello, Adam. Hello.
Yeah, that's all that was missing.
We're not friends, Adam.
You're not even supposed to be here. I have a long-lasting relationship with Craig. I think at some point during this whole timeline, DSP said they had a 10-year-long relationship, as if they were in contact or actually maintained some kind of interactions for 10 years.
God.
What was the relationship? He was in the background of a picture once and a video clip.
This is that's the relationship. A little bit more than that. Phil reached out to him to be a part of SGC, which is a screw attack gaming convention.
That's how he got the panel, isn't it?
Yeah. He asked, the only panel DSP ever had, he had to ask to get, which is kind of funny. And that panel, if you haven't seen that, is fantastic.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's incredible. Spoiler, we're going to cover that on the Detractor Beam stream on Friday if you want to see that. It's going to be hype. Unless something crazy happens, which how the things are going, we never know. So let's get to Keem time. I think we're ready for Keem time, right, boys? I think we're ready. Keem enters did I miss anything until Keem, I think? I think we're good? Keem?
It's when Phil dropped out, isn't
it? We got... Hold on, we got the things no one knows about because DSP felt so pressed to talk about those things that he had to bring them up.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I have a list of stuff. I can read them out.
Yes, God, please. Yes. Please.
So Phil comes back or goes to get the paper. I don't know if I wrote this down, but let's say we talked about the paper already. It's a paper with like chicken scratch on it. Anyways, it has bills on it with like all caps. Anyway, so Phil reveals a lot of stuff no one knows about, contrary to what he set up this interview to be like, with no things that no one knows about. It's all things that everybody already knows. And he said it. He just wanted it to be in one place. So the things no one knows about are as follows. He is involved in quote unquote legal things. So anything ranging from human trafficking to a parking ticket. Then we got his own health and his wife's health. So we got obesity and gout. Then we have medical conditions, which is not cancer. He made sure to clarify it's not cancer, because we know if DSP had cancer, that would be like, this would be the cancer stream every day. It would be like a status check of his condition. There are chronic things, which could be anything between gout and postnasal drip.
Well,
we got medical costs.
Oozing.
No, those are all medical things. Those are all health things.
No one knows about them, I guess.
Come on, Steve. They're separate. Come on.
And he can't pay them. That was the final point I think he made.
He can't pay them. Yes, he has to add that part. He never can pay it. You know, can't.
Again, he's trying to manipulate you. He's trying to say like, look, I'm under a lot of stress. I'm a victim. You know, like go easy on me. But I've got all this stuff on my mind, and all this stuff's weighing on me, and that's why I'm an asshole. Don't blame me, please. It's another attempt at manipulation.
Dude, imagine you're on trial for doing something bad. Whatever. Like we say, Phil's going on trial for begging. Let's pretend it's a court of law, and your defense is just saying bad shit that's going on with you in your life. That's your defense. Oh, yes, I'm begging, but I also have medical expenses.
Your Honor, my client is oozing from his hands. That means he's innocent.
Please keep that in mind when you do your sentencing, please. I have gout. Thank you.
Your Honor, it never happened. Trust me. The defense rests.
Your Honor, my client is considering showing some proof, so we can wait until next time, okay? Sound good? Correct?
He just needs to talk to his wife.
Anything you want to say to the jury? Well, I have a story about my wife I'd like to bring up here. It has nothing to do with this trial, but I want to bring it up anyway. We're getting there. God damn it, we're getting there. Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I used to work at a helicopter company.
The judge is like, no. Yeah, so that was just like, let me line up as much bad shit going on with me as I can for the pity. Like, he had all these things of talking points. But he's like, all right, I'm not getting my talking points. I'm just going to list them out. Let's just bullet point these bitches. All right, legal stuff, health stuff, bill stuff. I don't know.
And you know what? When all of these got ghosted, the next line in my notes I have in all caps, bro, he fucking tried to cry with 1,000 exclamation marks. So when none of that sympathy stuff like works out, he tried to cry. I swear he tried.
Oh yeah,
he did his best.
He had a can or a bottle to wipe across his forehead.
Yeah, he didn't have the bottle. It was a big strategy failure. Didn't have the bottle there to rub it on top. Is this when he said, "I didn't want to bring this up, guys"?
Yeah.
Is that this time? Oh my god, that made my skin crawl. I didn't want to bring this up, guys, but you guys are making me do it. This is what it felt like, you know? It's like, just, dude, if you want to say something, say it. If you don't want to say anything, don't say it. And Adam said that too. If you don't want to say anything, don't say it, man. You act like you're a victim here in this interview, you know? It's like, you got to be a man at some point, a man or a woman or anything. You got to be a person that's an adult. That's what I should have said. An adult.
They
If you wanna
handled
answer
that.
yeah.
Sorry, they
No
handled
bullshit.
that perfectly.
Yeah.
They
that's-
shut it down immediately. Yeah.
We're not taking this victim bullshit, man. You want to say something or not? You got to own up. You like, we'll talk about the next day if we get there, but fuck, man, you got to own up on your shit, man. You want to say it or not? And then that just crumpled. Yeah, Phil was out, just finish him at this point. But then someone else came into the party. Someone else joined the barbecue.
Let's make it 100% clear. It was absolutely consensual that they ran a train on Phil. It was absolutely consensual. He agreed on it. They asked him, I think, even multiple times, "Hey, Phil, are you okay with Keemstar coming on? We know you don't like him. We know you guys don't get along. You had like prior beef. Let's call it that. So is it okay to have it on?" He said yes every single time.
Because he didn't want to be the bitch. You know it. He didn't want to be the bitch. So he said, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, cool.
But it's like it would have been fine though. Like you could have said, "No, actually, I'm not comfortable," and it is the sort of sprung on us thing. That would have been fine to say. People would have understood. But he was like, "I just got to dig myself deeper. I'm just going to keep digging. I'll get out eventually." Bring him on.
Keem came in, had the perfect attitude going in. Calm, collected. "Hey, Phil, let's talk about this. Cool. You're saying some stuff. I want to get my opinions out there." And of course, did a little flexing, like he always does. Little flexing of stuff. But again, give him that. He's earned it. But Phil just starts filleting Keem. Just filleting. "You're an amazing businessman, Keem. Oh my God, you're incredible. You're amazing. I love your stuff you've done." But he has a few digs in there. Keem was saying something like, "I tried to call you twice." Phil's like, "We'll just pretend that's correct. Go ahead."
There was a lot of this.
That's so admirable.
But didn't he beforehand?
Damn, I'm
because
impressed with what you've done.
Play that again. Play it again. It's the replay.
Actually, damn, I'm impressed with what you've done.
Didn't we get before Keem was on? Phil was saying that he doesn't respect him at all. Didn't he say something along those lines? That's probably not the exact quote, but he said he doesn't respect him. Keem goes on, "I respect you, Keem."
I respect you tremendously.
I respect you, Booker man.
God.
Crumbled again. This is like somebody that is consequences of his actions. This is a person that you've slagged off now coming in to talk to you. Fuck, you're shitting it. But you can see the difference in the body language between them. Keem was just like completely calm, having a smoke, just completely relaxed. And he knew he was in control. He knew he was the one with the power in this. And Phil was shitting. Phil was like, yes, sir. And a bit defensive, like a bit withdrawn, but very timid. Whereas Keem's like completely relaxed. Knew what he was doing.
And any kind of any little dig that Phil would try and throw at him, it was kind of emotionless, wasn't it, from Keem? It was just kind of like, like you say, just sat back. It's like, we're not here to talk about this, it's just business with Keemstar. It just goes to show the difference between the two of them.
And Keem admitted on the duty stream that he was conflicted between going on like full Keemstar and being, the guy that we know, and being nice. So he decided he's going to be nice, and that helped him out a lot because he came out being like a very civil person trying to have a discussion. And
definitely
that's his bread and butter. He goes on somebody's show on stream and he just talks about stuff. That's what he does. And Phil was completely in too deep. He was off the deep end at this point. He was lost in the sauce. Authentic Italian sauce.
What's the sugar do?
Add sweetness.
But it doesn't matter how much you like hate. You might think Keem's like the scum of the earth, and you might not know anything about Phil. But if you see those two gentlemen there, it is like a different species of human. One child that is trying not to get caught for lying, that has just nothing to say. And Keem is like, "You want to answer yourself? I tell my story, and then what do you think?" And then Phil is out, no responses. It just does not. He's lost at this point, totally lost. And then Keem starts talking about Wings and Boogie and the opportunities they're gonna get that Phil is not gonna get, and this burns him even more. It's just gets the oven is turning up another level on Phil, and he's saying like, "Yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna watch that shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch."
With his voice going up an entire octave every time he answers.
No, of course I'm not.
It was going on full on Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. I don't want to work with you.
You didn't call me at the proper times,
God damn it.
And Phil's big point was that Keem called him at the wrong times, which he's said time and time again. Keem called me while I was streaming. And then, of course, Craig, as a rational person, brings this up. It's like, Phil, you couldn't like pause your stream. I'm sure everybody would understand if you had to step out and have a phone call that would last probably like 5 minutes. It wouldn't be like a 20-minute phone call.
Dude, it's the 200 people in your chat that are giving you maybe 50 hours a night. Just say, hold on a second, guys. You do it anyway. He does that anyway. To take a piss, he takes 15 minutes.
Yep.
That's how much he's not avoiding it, you know? Just avoiding it.
Yeah.
He doesn't want, just like Keemstar said, man, he does not want to get out of this position. He does not want to.
No. Yeah,
he doesn't want to work.
In that.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah, he made some good points in that stream the following day when he came in with Doody, and he was just like, it does seem like he's addicted to this lifestyle. The begging is what he's addicted to, which is, you know, it may be true.
It's just the money coming in that he was used to. He got so used to the YouTube money, he can't adjust to the thought of not having it. He became comfortable with him. It's important to him. It's his thing, and it's no longer there. So the idea of having to work is terrifying to him. This is like the first time he's ever faced up to like consequences ever. The idea of being like an adult for the first time at 40 is fucking terrifying to him.
Oh God. And you see why he avoids it now? I don't blame him for avoiding it anymore. If this is how any question with any kind of bite to it, it just melt. Oh, someone said, go ahead real quick, one comment. Someone said Phil looks like Elvis made of butter. I'm sorry, I forget who said that.
Meltvis.
Melvin.
All right, go ahead, Sam.
Well, it was an interview, but it did, and someone pointed it out, I think in our restream, very early on, that it sounded like a job interview with someone that hadn't prepared for anything, and they were just kind of flailing around for answers, and that's the way it came across. For sure.
They were. I totally agree with that. At some point, even earlier on, they were trying to guide him into the proper answer. Like what is like a rational person would say. Like a job interview, when somebody sees, you're stressed out, it's a normal thing. They're used to seeing that. And they try and help you out. But he couldn't catch a hint. He couldn't get it. He just didn't get it.
No.
He doesn't understand human interaction.
No.
He's not socialized enough.
No. He's just exactly. He's not prepared to deal with the logic of actual rational people, I guess, of people that live lives outside of this weird world he's created for himself.
He can't. His lies don't work when there's another person in the room. That's the end of it. That's it. Like his lies do not work when there's another human there to say like, make it make sense. But when it's Jade and Derek and those people in his chat that are like, play a game, Phil, fun. That they don't give a shit what he's saying.
Yeah, because he has like this built-in defense mechanism when there's 3 different video clips of him from several months apart contradicting himself. He's just like, they're moving the goalposts or whatever. But when you're faced with this one person that, especially Adam, who kind of doesn't know Phil, seemingly doesn't know, and he's just listening to what's presented to him, and he's just like, what? This doesn't make any sense at all. I think that's why having Adam there was such a genius move, because it was literally he's just kind of taking in what he's being told at that moment and going, what the fuck do you mean? What? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Are you serious? This is what you're going with? Like that was like, I love that line. That's what we all think. All of us think in this detractor sphere, we're all there. We think that all the time, This is what you're going with? And we know it's how crazy, but when a real normal person said it, it was like satisfying almost. Like, see?
Yeah.
You see? Yeah. This is what is spewing. That's why we're all here, because it's nonsense. Crazy nonsense.
I think that was part of the enjoyment for me, and I'm probably like for a lot of people, because it's like you're seeing somebody who's outside of all this, recognizing what we recognize, and sort of like, you're like, yeah, see, it's not just us. It's not just us being too far into this. People who don't know about it pick up on it as well. So it was really satisfying to see that. Like,
this was kind of the bottom line of the Keemstar call with Duty from the other day, where Keemstar was like, I get it now. It's just a bunch of people looking at this fake dude who's like pretending he's in so much trouble and he's faking all this stuff.
Yep.
And Keemstar, on some level, he still can't figure out that DSP is actually this. He's actually what he is presenting is just so delusional, so lost in the sauce. And it's just like people seeing through this and calling him out. And he realizes why there's so much hate against this dude and why there's so many people sitting there making fun of him.
Yeah, it's just like was on all this great display. I don't think Adam was expecting it to be that batshit insane. Like, I don't think anyone could expect that. Like, you serious? This is what you're going with? Is anyone else hearing this? Like, that's what it looked like.
Like, I know you obviously prepared Craig in advance, and obviously a lot of people did because he spoke to a lot of people. So he was sort of prepared, but even he was still taken aback by just like the overwhelmingness of everything. So for Adam, it must have been even worse because you're coming into this blind, basically. Like, maybe the most you know about him is like he's a streamer. He's the one who beat off a couple of years ago on stream. You know, it's like that's it. That's probably the most you've got. And to get all this, it must have been overwhelming for him.
Yeah. And what I loved with the Keemstar part as well was I think it might have been when they asked him if he was all right at one point after Keemstar had joined, and they were having their backwards and forwards, and Craig was like, you know, just hang on a sec, are we okay with this? It might have even been Adam that said it, you know, are you cool with this? And Phil was like, yeah. Oh, I think I've got the clip here actually. Here you go.
I would love for this to continue. I just want to make sure you're cool with it.
I'm okay with this, but I mean, obviously, we want to get back to the other topics too, right? I mean, we kind of put everything on pause. And came and
sure, but I think something good is happening here.
That's what I like, is that Craig is there to say, like, you know, no, this is really good. You know, something's going on here. You can't plan for this kind of thing, you know. And but Phil's just kind of got that one track mind where he's like, no, I need to get back onto my pity party or whatever, you know, the preconceived stuff.
We did find out on his own stream the next day what the actual issue was, that Keemstar was stealing the spotlight from his interview to promote his project that reaches way more people, like completely besides the Side Scrollers podcast appearance. It already has so much more attention to it.
Keemstar really needed Side Scrollers promotion here. I mean, the project doesn't work without Side Scrollers promotion. It really doesn't. That's Phil's line of thinking there. That's why Keem did that. That's incredible.
That's just Phil, isn't it? Really? And he also, it's the egocentrism of his narcissism. It's like, you're taking the spotlight off me. It's the exact same reason why he doesn't do multiplayer with anyone. And you've also got we are out of like where I plan to be. I cannot cope with this. It's stressing me out because I can't handle I can't improve on the fly. I can't like adjust and change and come up with things as you know, in response. I need to be planned in advance. I have my bullet points. I have the things I want to talk to, and we are outside of that. I'm freaking out.
Yeah, like we always say it. Like he's the anti-spontaneity streamer on the internet. Like, you know, this is it. Spontaneity happened, and he was, I'm out. I cannot handle this. Like, how he says that? It's so soft. We're still gonna get back to the other topics, White.
Yeah, but it also goes like hand in hand with the other thing that they probably went on to say was when they were kind of teaching him about how modern communication on the internet is, and he just didn't get it, you know. I'm sorry, I've lost my train of thought now, but it was about the DMing and stuff.
Yeah, it's like how they communicated compared to Phil's like, no, email me at this specific time, you know. Whereas they're like a couple of quick DMs, you want to call, yeah, boom, done, 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that we got that as well. That you know, that we had these people that have been around for so long, versus, you know, and have evolved with the internet and do things the way that they are currently done now with the vast majority of people. And you've got Phil there insisting on, you know, this age-old fucking, you know, emailing backwards and forwards. and again, it's just all the kind of the control thing, isn't it, really?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just and it shows that, and again, how a normal human thinks how crazy that sounds. Like, dude, can I call you real quick? A normal human be like, all right, cool. When Keemstar calls you, I don't care how much you hate him. It's a great opportunity for your career, man. Don't give a shit about how much you hate him. So they're ridiculous. And don't throw Kat on that fucking bus either. When you say like, she told me it's blood money. She doesn't give a shit about Keemstar. She watches Keemstar. She watches Keemstar. She watches everybody. She watches everybody but you.
She told me to throw away the $50,000 opportunity. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she would definitely say that.
She would say that. Yeah. She's fine.
Oh,
Everything's
take
broken
that
in the house,
blood
but yeah,
money, honey.
we don't need 50 grand, Phil. It's fine. Keep begging. Fuck.
So
You know what
at
you
some
doing,
point,
honey?
they asked Keemstar whether or not he would do the Lol Cow podcast with Phil, or he would still keep trying to work with him. And he said no because he's way too hard to work with.
Oh yeah, I like that too. He was not having it. He's like, no, I'm done with Phil. And then later, Keemstar said, you know, I might, but nah, I'm not really. And Phil remembered that in the after. He's like, he wasn't even sure what he was saying. He's like, that's not how that happened. He first said like maybe, and then he thought about it for a split second. Said, nah, no, probably not. You know,
But probably not
Phil's
because
still
I've got this other thing going on with them now, which which must have, you know, because no one was expecting Keem to drop that as well. With the, you know, we knew about the boxing thing, but we didn't know it was going to be free and all that, and it was just like, you know, sticking the knife in a little bit more.
Oh,
but
God,
only after Phil's kind of disrespected you so much.
We're gonna promote the shit out of that boxing match, man. We're gonna be watching that shit all over the place. We support the fuck out of that.
I mean, I'm interested in it. It looks like it's a fun thing.
Yeah, it's just cool for people that understand what entertainment is. Phil again was like, I'm not watching that. You know, when Keemstar said, you'll be watching it.
No, I won't. I'm not watching that filth.
And then he pretended to, which is, of course, what he tries to do to like appeal to people's sympathy, I guess. He pretended to care about Boogie and Wings' physical well-being. Oh yeah, they're like fat. They could get a heart attack at every moment, dude. That's gonna go on for like 5 minutes. These dudes, at least they're gonna do something for themselves. They're gonna try to lose some weight, get in shape. They're gonna get some money out of it. They're gonna fight for 5 minutes on an undercard. They're gonna get paid. They're gonna get a lot of exposure. They agreed to do this. And there's going to be a medical team there in case something goes wrong, which we most probably won't.
Also, like Keem keeps pointing out, it's boxing. There's always a risk that you're going to get. You're punching other people in the face and getting punched in the face. There's an inherent risk to being hurt, but you mitigate that by training them, by wearing gloves, by having medics around. So they accept that risk when they step into the ring. When they say, I feel like up for boxing. I'll do it. So
this fight is going to last a minute probably. And it's going to be,
they're going to gas.
It's like Mike Tyson in the ring throwing haymakers. It's going to be, you know who's doing this? Boogie and Wings. You know the power they have there. I mean, they might have some power, but it's not like they're just standing there getting fucking punched in the face as hard as they can. You defend yourself. They're going to have training. Phil just wanted something to fucking say to go against Keem. Where's the line for you, Keem? Is there any line you won't cross? Because my line is on getting people injured with boxing. It's like, what a weird moral line to have. What a fucking weird moral line to have. Begging's cool though. Begging's cool. That's all cool, man. That's kosher. Kosher as shit. Boxing? What are you? Oh, God, it's disgusting. That was so bad. In the list of many weird things said. But Phil was just totally lost at this point, though. His mind was in outer space at this point. Just wanting to die at this point. But I guess
gonna get worse. Carries on.
Yep. All right. So let's say Keem is gone. Let's say Keem leaves. Now it's kind of like Phil. I mean, Keem took every opportunity. Like, I'm retired now, dude, and you're still on level 1, man. He kept saying it.
Oh, we got the DLC.
DLC. I get paid to be DLC.
Yeah.
I like that part. But then Keem finally says, "Okay, Phil." Okay. Yep. Go ahead, take care of that. Oh, I see, please. Then we get the finale, and it says like Phil loves to say, "I'm just a little guy. I'm just a widow guy. I'm so widow. I mean nothing. $100,000 a year is not a small YouTuber. It's not.
No.
It's so far from a small YouTuber. That's in the top 0.0000001% of all YouTubers.
He makes way more money than people who actually have to get up early, get dressed, and commute to work, and actually work, and then commute back. So he's not really a little guy. He has a very prestigious job as far as that's concerned. So he should take it a little bit more seriously. So when people are sitting there trying to give him advice and trying to help him, he should consider it. So what advice did he actually take away from all of this? To apologize to some dude in his DMs? He apologized to some Street Fighter dude from like 15 years ago that he insulted and he was trash talking. And then he tried to make up with Review Tech USA and invite him on his podcast, but that was a little bit after the fact. I'm sure we're gonna get to this. We have plenty of time.
I do want to say real quick. I didn't mention it, but I want to mention it a little bit beforehand. Craig said smartly, "Hey, usually when people donate, you kind of put it back in the business, right? People donate money, you can make your business level up, right? So what do you do at these events? What are you doing at these events?" And this is one of my questions, because I wanted to push on your events are just more ways to make a higher tips goal. That's kind of how I wanted to get there. But Phil said, "What do you do at these events that is different?" His response was, "I buy these big meals I normally wouldn't buy."
It's just something silly we do. It's a little thing called feasting with the king.
I buy bigger meals I normally wouldn't buy. Awesome. That was incredible. Adam is just like dead. Like, that is okay. Okay. That's something you said.
And of course, he brought up that his background is different from what it was years ago, and he has these lights and stuff. But that's like it was a one-time thing for him. It's not like a consistent investment. It was just like he bought some LEDs and a fucking ring light. Come on, we have all done it. We know that it's pretty simple.
Yeah, yeah. There is nothing. There's nothing like that he has put back into the business that I can think of, really. Unless you consider maybe like when he says about buying the new monitor or the the controller, when he had that good month of memberships or whatever. I don't know where you draw the line in that case, but most of the time it's gifted to him, or with the case of the TV, it's funded on the day. There was a lot of money raised on that particular day. That he basically, I don't know, I don't want to say he sort of asked for it, but he basically did, like us.
Yeah, real quick, let's finish the interview, and then we get to the after stuff, because we do want to get to that too. But the last thing is really monumentous to me. Really, imagine this chance, guys. You're DSP, you decide to do an interview, and you want this to be the one place you send people when they have a fucking question to you, right? There's a question. How do you want to address your new fans, Chris? What Craig said, some to that effect, right? Like, this is your chance, Phil. You say whatever you want to say. And Phil has had all the time in the world to prepare for this moment, right? Weeks to prepare for this, 2 weeks at least, to prepare for this last, hey, what do you want to say at the end? What does he say? What does he say? What does he bring up? Well, my wife had a restraining order against her last boyfriend, and I got her out of that situation. What is the purpose of this statement? Besides trying to be a hero for someone that no one needs to know about. No one.
The setup was people found out that she was dating a dude named Jeff, and he was driving a Subaru and he was playing the music super loud. People found that out. But what they did, and they found out that they were texting while she was still in a relationship. That's what people found out. That's what Jeff said. Right?
Yeah.
But what they didn't find out is that Phil was a nice guy, and she actually had a restraining order against that dude who played the music too loud because he was beating her, and he saved her from that. That's why he brought it up. Not even like to make his wife look like something, to make himself look good.
Yes.
Like with Panda Lee, we're the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I brought up her ass too.
Just quickly, I think it needs to be said that this is the bit of the interview where you say, thanks everyone for joining. You can find me on DSP Gaming, on my new channel, DSP Reacts. You should come and check it out. It's really cool. We have fun, blah, 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 blah. But this is what we got.
We covered a lot today. It was good. Thanks. I really enjoyed it, guys. Thanks for having us on here.
Great fucking point to even think about, because we're so out of this normal world. Yeah, you say, hey guys, on Friday got this cool event coming on. If you want to check it out. What does Phil say? Hey guys, my wife had a restraining order against her former boyfriend. I'm not a groomer though.
You see, right? With the restraining order thing, though, it also serves another point. It makes us look bad because we're the ones harassing and stalking and being mean to an abuse victim. You know, never mind that this has never come up and there's no evidence at all for it until this moment. Phil throws it out. You know, just defense.
On the evidence front, restraining orders and that stuff in Michigan, from what I've seen, are private, so they can't really be made public.
Yeah.
So even if DSP was basically saying go look that up, we couldn't do that, and that's not possible as far as I know.
I think Meth Bear had a look, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, he said he couldn't find anything. So I mean, I'm not here to say that's true or false.
Yeah, that doesn't
whatever.
mean it's
it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm not here to say if it's true or false, but bringing that up is the fucked up part, man.
Yeah.
That is incredibly fucked up for your own purposes. Is the only reason you brought your wife up, man. Keep your wife. You know what? It's something Phil always say, so I'm going to say it to him. Keep your wife's name out of your mouth when she does not have to be brought up for everything. As you always say. And your exes. Leave her out of this, man. No need to bring up your wife to make her look she's not looking bad. There's no reason to bring her business in this, right? Don't need to get her business on the world of this audience you don't even have. It's not even his own audience, right? That's a little bit different, I guess. It's still bad. But if you want to say, like, hey guys, I want to tell you a bad story about my wife and just share it with your audience, all right. I still think that's fucking up, but all right. This is to random people, the biggest stream he's ever going to get in years, and just bringing it up.
And you know, there's the thing when people remember the start and the end of something like this. That's what makes the biggest impression. And what he chose to end it with to the public, because he did the post show, but he chose to end it to the public by bringing up his wife's restraining order and being a victim. That's what he chose to like hammer in people's head as the final impression of him.
It's the primacy and recency effect. When you're given a sequence of information, you're most likely to remember the starting view and the ending view. So most people will come away from that with the impression of, oh, that racism clip at the start, and oh, that bit where near the end he talked about his wife's restraining order and his girlfriend being like, he didn't groom her, you know. So there's like a whole two vortexes of shit there to fall down.
And he still brought trolls into that. He's like, how come you guys didn't find that? What are you saying this for?
I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would. I don't know why they wouldn't, because it would make him look good. No, people just are looking for the truth, just like with the escort story. Imagine if people figured out that it wasn't true and they just kept quiet because it would make Phil look innocent. No, they're just looking for the truth, man.
But that was how it ended. And again, Adam's face of shock was incredible. Like, what? And there's no reason to bring it up. It's just such a alien thing to do, such a non-caring thing to do. And you know, he had a list of pity points on that fucking paper, non-blank paper, not the Bills one. That was blank. The one that was not blank, his pity points he wants to bring up. And that's what he said before Keemstar came on. Remember, he's like, we're going to still talk about other stuff, right? I still got a few things on my pity points I want to bring up, if you don't mind. And then that was it. And I'm sure he looked down. What's the best one I can say at the end? What's the one that's going to get the most pity for me here? Okay, yeah, that's it. Subaru Man. Fucked up, man. Fucked up. All right, can we move on? I'm done with the interview unless any other final points before we move on to the aftermath.
We have the post show. I don't know if you guys saw that. Phil stayed for the post show, and I guess a quick summary would be first they talk about Keem again. Craig gave him another chance to think about it, consider it. Hey, Phil, you know, if you're in dire straits, man, Keem seemed pretty honest about it. He was offering you like a fair deal. It seems like a thing, you know, you can grow your audience and so and so and so. And Phil is like, yeah, I don't want to be Mr. Lolcow. I think that's what he said, actually, the quote in Mr. Lolcow. I don't want to be seen as this. I don't want to be Keemstar's slave and always be like, basically like he has all the power and he tells me what to do at any point in time, which is, I don't think you guys would agree that we're all slaves to anybody on this podcast. We just gather once a week at a scheduled time. We do it. We know we kind of watch some clips, get ready to some kind of extent, and we just do it. Yeah, so that's kind of how a podcast works usually, right?
It's probably slightly different because it's, you know, there's probably contracts involved and, you know, probably a much, much bigger audience. But at the end of the day, like Keemstar said somewhere, it's essentially 4 people. They each own 25% of the business, and there's no one's in power. So
25%. Yeah.
So it's basically the same thing as what we have here.
Yeah, and all you have to do is talk for an hour. They don't have to prepare shit. You know they don't prepare shit. Keem doesn't want them preparing shit, to be honest. Hey guys,
Yeah.
every Friday at 6 p.m. show up. I'll give you this much money. That's it. You down or not down? That's the beginning and end of it.
Yes, natural conversation is the most entertaining. We've had like a vague structure of this to follow everything that's happened, but we're not like, right, point by point, we need to talk about this for an hour, then we need to talk about this for 2 hours, and then we need to go over. Just natural flow most of the time, and then you keep it, guide it. Like you would be like what Keemstar would do. Okay, guys, you all talked about this. Let's move on to this now.
Yeah.
You know, that's, You can't
Right,
have a lot.
I see Chatter roasting me because I said he would be a slave to Keem. Come on, I'm a fucking foreign, okay? I couldn't find the proper word. I meant beholden. Beholden is the exact word he used. He wouldn't be his actual literal slave.
Meerkat doesn't see color.
I don't see color.
You didn't think of that.
I see everything in black and white.
So let's go to go ahead.
There is still more. In the end, he does this special thing for the Side Scrollers podcast that only the Patreon supporters could see. Is what he does is he puts on the pilot hat.
No.
Yeah, you guys don't know about that?
No.
God.
And then Craig tells him, "Hey Phil, this, I can kind of see why people are calling this a Nazi hat. I can kind of see it. It kind of looks like that."
Was it just me and you, Meerkat, that saw that? Did you see that?
I did not see this. No.
Okay. I wasn't sure about your reaction, whether it was real or not.
I didn't see that.
No, I've not seen it.
But
legit, that's his actual reaction. That's Craig's actual reaction. Like Phil, I can see why people would be criticizing you for this.
What did he say?
What did he say?
And he actually sort of said, what was it? I don't wear it all that often anymore, or something like that. Like he tried to kind of. It was like he was like, oh shit, yeah.
I'm only racist sometimes now.
Yeah. It was like it was another almost, it was just a silly thing I do. But they did, like, when he pulled it out and he put it, he was like, for me, it was Thursday or something like that. And,
yeah, exactly.
And
he didn't say it, did he?
He did.
Say, oh no.
He said it, yeah. I thought he would blow bubbles initially because that was like, it was the goofy thing he does. I thought it would be like really hilarious, but he put on the fucking pilot hat. I'm like, what?
And he was instantly, he was like, thanks, Jack, because I've forgotten all this. He did say, oh, the trolls like to call it a Nazi hat, and it's like, and Craig is there going, yeah, come on, man.
And the rest of the panel, we got Travis join in, who was running chat, and we got Blabs join in, who was the lady, and she was doing the social media stuff, and their faces were astounding.
Oh yeah, fuck. One real quick point. I forgot to say one more of my fingerprints are on this interview. And this is my most proud one. Craig asked me, is there any words that should be added to the chat as banned words? And gentlemen, I added one.
ALT is old.
No. Horse. You're welcome, motherfuckers. Stay away from my girl. I banned.
What if anyone tried to say it?
I wonder. I'm sure people did. That was a legitimate word you have to ban. I mean, just being real,
Dude,
But
he's got it. Someone must have uploaded it. Someone must have clipped and uploaded
Yeah,
that.
I did watch it on my stream, so maybe we can pull it up on stream if I can find it on my stream.
I guess that's where I saw it.
Or no, I can actually find it in Discord because I posted it there.
I was just curious. I don't want to derail the stream because we've still got a lot.
Yeah. So anything else? And he has Meerkat from that. Sounds like a great ending of the stream.
I think from the post show that was it. But keep in mind, they gave him the ability to leave several times. Now we're gonna come back to this, so keep that in mind. Make like a bullet point in your brain.
Yes,
because we're gonna come back to that. They told him, Phil, you can leave anytime. We're gonna do the post show for the Patreon people, and if you want to stay, that's cool. If you want to go, that's cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because
more work now. Fuck yeah.
Because you want to be nice to your guests and say like, dude, we got to do some housekeeping stuff. At any point you want to go, man. Yeah, it's cool. Any point you want to go. We got to read super chats and stuff. If you want to go, man, it's cool. Phil stuck around by his own volition. Stuck around. So remember.
All right, Sam. I'm gonna send this to you on Discord, and I think it's gonna be timestamped, so you're gonna be able to find it quickly. But it's like the last. I'll try and find out exactly when the moment is.
Cool.
Oh, thank you, man. Thanks. No, I tapped out. Me and Scott ended up like an hour behind. So by the end of that, we were like, no, we need a break, mate. Fuck it. So, but then I caught like other bits later. So yeah, I had no idea how this went. I can't believe you put on the pilot app, for fuck's sake.
But was that it though, Meerkat? Can we move on to that? Because we should move.
Yeah, I think that's it. Sam should have it. I timestamped the point around which I think it all happens. So we shouldn't really be having any problems with that.
Yeah, just give me 2 seconds.
Although,
So
like,
let's
bear in mind,
while we're figuring this out,
upgraded.
let's do a quick recap on the whole thing, right?
Yes, please.
So Phil goes into this super confident. He's rehearsed all the answers like a very good boy going to an exam, being very prepared. But the questions on the exam are very different from what he expected them to be. Then at some point, his nemesis tunes in and he jumps on, and that goes sideways. He comes out of the podcast. The time he comes out of the podcast, he thinks it all went well. It was objective. It was constructive. And it was a very fair shake, as he put it. But the same day, he had his own decompression thing. We're going to get to that. So, yes, it was all good in his book, right? They asked him everything he thought they would, and it all went perfect.
He thought that was good.
That is the crazy thing of the whole day for me, was that he thought it was good.
Yeah, I think Sam got it running.
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, just bear with 2 secs. Right, there we go. Hopefully everybody can hear this.
And lemonade. Have you? I don't know. Like, let's.
Can I do something? Can I do something really silly that I wanted to do the whole show?
His choice.
I'm
doing it.
The guys who support your show, which is
Please.
the day that Dark Side Phil appeared on your show, Side Scrollers, was probably one of the most momentous things that you'll always remember. But for me, it was Thursday.
That's a bison cap.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
He cannot believe
That's exactly what it is. You've seen this in pictures, right? And people say it's a Nazi cap. No, it's an M. Bison replica cap that I wear when I play Street Fighter and other stuff. So what do they say? He's a Nazi, right? It's like, come on.
Once again, Phil, come
Blabs thinks that
on.
too.
It looks way like, come on, dude. You got like.
You know I had to do it. I had to bring it on the show.
Then that's fine. But I've seen pictures of you in that, and it's like, it's one of those things. But so seeing it now, geez, it's tough, man. Like, dude, drop the hat. I'm telling you right now, drop the hat. Let's get rid of the hat.
I don't wear it often anyway. I really don't.
Oh my god. Replay. One more time.
Just look at that face. Blabs, did you have anything?
Watch Blabs. Watch Blabs.
You know I had to do it. I had to
wait.
Right?
I always watch Blabs only.
So what did they say? He's a Nazi, right? It's like, come on.
Once again, Phil, come on. It looks way like, come on, dude. You got like.
You know I had to do it. I had to bring it up.
Then that's fine. But having never seen, I've seen.
Great, isn't it?
Oh my god! You can literally see her processing it. You can see her like going.
Are you serious?
She looked to the side and then started. Oh my god, that's fucking amazing! Like, dude, come on, drop it, dude.
This is the best.
He chose to do this, and then he walked away thinking that went well.
Yeah. Again, sympathy.
Choice.
Yeah, just. For anyone asking, there's a couple of comments. This was the post show for the Patreon subscribers or whatever you call
this
it.
is like a members thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. That transition from he's saying, "Yeah, my trolls thing is a Nazi." They're so crazy, and then Craig is so quick to say, "Come on, man."
I know.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm so glad you did that.
Bro, drop it. It's not a joke. It's like, cut it, man. Just drop it.
And this is like
he wanted to do that.
One of those things that establishes the pattern of like, dude, look at how insane my trolls are. And then you get the response of, hey, they might have a point, but I'm going to tell you that in a slightly different way so you don't get offended.
He was sitting on that. He planned that for ages. He thought, this will slay him. They'll love this.
And I thought it was a bubble blow, man. A silly, goofy bubble blow. It's just something fun we do.
Yeah, like that.
Throw on a vest. Fuck it. Just like anything but any other hat.
That's what I was thinking through the whole thing though. It was like that's the kind of interview that I think he thought this was going to be. I think that's he had only that and the stupid cringy thing he said at the start when he first joined the call, where he was like, "Guys, you did it. You got me on your show, you know,
You're
whatever. You cancelled, yeah." And I think that was it. You know, he thought that it was going to be all fun and games, you know, and if I don't know, I think I've seen a side by side where you see his face at the start and then when Keem's in the call or whatever, and it's just
one of my favorite things to come out of this is that picture of like Adam sat there and X'd out.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure you've all seen that on Twitter.
Oh my god, yeah,
everyone.
This moment. We didn't plan this at all because me and Steve legitimately did not see this. This moment is incredible. This is top 2, top 3 of the whole fucking thing. It's incredible. All these elements. Phil thinking this is such a great joke. This is gonna slay him.
You know he did. You know he planned it. We're gonna end with this. Any last words, Phil? Yes, just one. The day that Darkside Phil appeared on your podcast, you're thinking, oh no.
You know, he had it planned way in advance because he had it lying near him somewhere. Because the list of bills he had to go and get, the hat was right next to him. So he had this bit prepared.
He thought he would be like, he thought he would end, like everybody would be on his side. It would be great. And he'd do this final joke to really send him home happy.
Yeah.
And God.
And
I'm glad he's just like,
the eyes
he's doing the office thing, you know, when it's like Tim or whatever. It's like the boss does something stupid. American conversion isn't as good as the British version, but they'll look at the camera, they'll side eye the camera and be like,
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. This it feels like David Brent, that bit at the end.
Michael Scott. Michael Scott.
David Dent.
There is a David Dent in the chat.
David Dent.
There we go. And I could see the soundbite coming behind the scenes where it's just like the camera crew with Blabs in one of the office, and she's like, "I have no idea what just happened."
Oh, when he comes to that in talking head bit, yeah.
Right, here's the next question, or maybe a poll question. We haven't done a poll question yet. Will Phil wear the hat again on his own streams?
Again,
Yes
I think
or no?
I think
You think he doesn't care?
To keep up the narrative that it's not a Nazi hat, you know.
Own the meme, maybe.
Yeah. Owning the meme.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. That's an incredible moment.
Fucking hell, that was amazing. And look, he's so smug. He's so like
happy.
He could be either David Dent or Michael Snot. So we gotta pick one.
Can we have Michael Snort?
Michael Snort.
Not today.
Let's
not
workshop
today.
this. Let's workshop this.
We're gonna go it.
But in both occasions, anyway, he ended both streams essentially terribly. You know,
Smooth landing coming in, just crash that fucking plane.
Yeah.
Which is worse? All right, we're coming in and landing here. You could choose to go softly or choose to jump off a fucking cliff. What do you got to choose, Phil? He's like that meme with the guy wetting his brow. Which do I choose? Normal ending or batshit insane? I'll choose batshit insane twice.
Yeah. Bill, take the J. Jonah Jameson meme out of your OBS settings and put this one on these.
Look at Blabs. What a hero. Her face is what a hero there.
Like
I think in between the actual appearance on the podcast and his response, he ran some Twitter polls. So I would like to read some of them to you guys.
Please.
So on March 17th, which was, I think, the day it was supposed to happen, perhaps. Let me just look at the calendar. No, that was a Friday. But, you know, time zones are a bitch. So my appearance on the podcast Side Scrollers today was 32% say good, 35% say bad, and 34% say who cares? Still hate you. What do you guys hear? What do you guys think? I'm gonna go first. I think it was good because this appearance was exclusively for the trolls. None of his fans would care about it, as he mentioned, because they wouldn't learn any new info. So as a troll, I had a fantastic time. It was a blast. I think Adam and Craig did a fantastic job. I think Phil did an outstanding job at doing exactly what I make fun of him for doing. So I would say it was good. What do you guys think?
All right, go ahead, Sam. What do you think?
Well, from our point of view, it was very good. But it wasn't good in the way that I think he wants that poll to mean good. So, but yeah, my vote is good. Although I think I voted bad on that poll.
How about you, Steve?
Exactly the same for us. Fucking phenomenal. But for him, the worst thing he could have done.
Like, that's what I say. Like, it's for us, this is like top 5 moment of all time. Of all time, it's at top 5. And to think, there's no reason for him to do this at all. No reason. Except
there is.
His
he had
want.
a dream. He had a dream. This all came from the dream.
That goddamn dream. How much? And he thought, guys, after that, I think it went well.
Yeah, I mean, he came away from it thinking it went well, you know. And it wasn't until, was it during the next day's stream, the story changed?
I think it was after he learned they slagged him off. Well, I don't say slagging off because that's not fair. But after he learned they were critical of him, he
so let's get there. Okay,
right. Real quick to summarize, I guess, his decompression segment.
Yeah.
And if you guys have something to add, please feel free to do so. We have 30 more minutes. Let's leave like 5 to 10 minutes left to read out all the contributions, play the outros and stuff. So I think we're gonna do everything on time.
Yep.
So, right, his decompression segments. The takeaways from that was he thought it was great. He thought it was exactly what he wanted it to be. It was a fair shake. It was asking all the questions, nothing off the table. But his chat, his viewers thought it was a trap, and it was made for the trolls, so the trolls could benefit from it. And the trolls sent them a lot of super chats because the trolls thought they did a good job, which is bad for Phil. But Phil disagreed with that at the time, at the decompression segment. That's what my takeaways are. If somebody has seen it, it has other takeaways, please correct me.
Yeah, he did the Mickey Mouse voice when he was like retorting to that. He was like, "No, I think it went fine." Yeah.
And I saw a lot of troll tips there, and they were saying like just like smart shit. Like, I don't think that went too well. Like, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, but thanks for the $1.
He did make like $250 from like enablers and gaslighters and stuff like that. So that's fair enough.
That's a W for him, though. He probably thinks, like, I'm glad I did.
That's why he thinks it went well, because he was able to wail out at the end. So any sort of creeping doubt that actually that might have been a bad thing, it's easy to get rid of because you've got 250 quid to drop now. So he was fine with it. I think the next day when he was like, "Oh shit, what did I do really?"
That is right from the DSP mindset, but from the troll mindset, any progress that could have been established during that 5-hour podcast was completely undone by him going on his own stream and being enabled by all these people that genuinely thought he did a good job and send him money and thought, like, Phil, great job. You did great. Keep up the good work.
Didn't a lot of this end up in the email though that he sent? He said to Craig.
Those emails.
Like, you know, I thought we did well. I thought it was great. Some people in my chat said that Keemstar was a bit mean to me, but
he can't even own that. He can't even own that. He can't even own that himself. He says a lot of people in my chat said that. Just say it yourself, man.
Can't accept fault. Can't accept fault at all. Oh, TJ Gamebox confirmed he got a new character in his roster the same day.
Oh yeah.
Hey, congratulations.
Did anybody expect anything different?
He had to say in that email to Craig, my chat thought the Keemstar was a little bit unnecessary.
He derailed the podcast.
This does escalate to a degree that is way beyond Keemstar was a bit necessary into invasion parts. So in between that poll that I just read, then we have, an announcement of a podcast that he says there is not going to be a podcast today and we're going to chat for 20 or so minutes. He talked for an hour. And then he started playing Hogwarts Legacy, so on and so forth.
And then
that got lost in the shuffle, didn't it?
What happens? Okay, you guys have anything more to add, or we can move on to the next
move
point?
On. We still got something to get to. Let's move on. Yeah.
All right,
that's
awesome.
it. So to sum it up, he thought it went well, got a lot of money that day. That's it. Next one.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Then we have on March 17th, this is 9 p.m. my time. And this is around the time when side scrollers decide to do their decompression stream. They decide to unpack what they gathered from 5 hours of talking to this guy because it was very successful and got a lot of attention. So they wanted to talk about their takeaway from this and what they thought it was. So they did it because Phil did his own thing. So why wouldn't they do it? But It happened that they shit talked him behind his back. So in light of things my viewers are telling me, I have to change the schedule. Tonight on the late stream, I will be doing a, all caps, live react of today's side scroller podcast. He tags them in the tweet to see if what I'm hearing is true. I really hope it's not, but we will see.
By the way, the person that was watching it was not any of his viewers. It was Kat. Remember, he says this later. Kat was the one watching it. So I hope it's not true. What my wife just told me was true is what he's saying, really.
Right. And then he makes a video that initially was called, Did They Dump on DSP? Dump is in all caps. Live react to the side scrollers DSP aftermath. And then if you go on DSP Reacts, the name of that stream has changed to DSP Reacts backstabbed by side scrollers. Let's end this here.
No, I need to see.
You can see in the original tweet, because the name of the link that you shared gets retained in the tweet, even if you change the name of the video. And it is now his featured video on the DSP Reacts channel.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
oh God, it is.
Drama views,
Oh,
guys.
God, it
Drama
is.
views. Blood money. Fuck that blood money. I don't want that shit.
And
Backstab.
Rest in peace, etiquette. Judgment begins.
Before the stream happens, Phil sends out a tweet that states, tonight's stream is going to be a fucking doozy. That's what the tweet says.
You know who does tweets like that? And I would do tweets like that too, is Keemstar, by the way. Hyping up those events, getting the shit ready, getting the drama going. That's how the internet fucking works. Yeah. And Phil knows it too, but Phil just can't do it when it's bad when Keemstar does it. Remember that.
Yeah, let me just stick to the timeline here. Sorry to derail too much. So, my time, this was sent at 1:03 a.m. At 1:08 a.m., Phil sends a tweet to Keemstar, to the Real Review Tech USA, saying, "Want to come on my stream tonight?"
Mm-hmm.
And then,
spiraling.
20 minutes later, he sends a tweet. Okay, I would like to publicly apologize and have a civil convo with you when it's not intrusive. I figured you might add something to the side scroller stream, but your life is way more important. I totally get it.
This is the ballad of a flailing 15-year content creator, flailing, desperate, searching for an answer. How can I change this narrative? Get someone on my side. I know what I'll do. A content creator that I have beef with whose daughter is sick. He can't turn me down.
And I would like to bring out a quote from Phil. Quote unquote, in my mind, I am better than rich. That is the quote. And we're reaching out to this guy to talk to him on my stream.
I don't know if you're going to sort of like mention this, but this is an hour before he would say on stream, they were right about reaching out to people. I've reached out to Rich, you know, and it's like, you reached out an hour before. If you reached out after the podcast to go, I'm thinking about things and I was a bit of a dick to you. I'm sorry. That's completely different from reaching out an hour before you're about to do a podcast where you say, against this charge, I actually have reached out to people.
Yeah,
that's weaponizing that.
Make sure that's clear, because he knew that they got shit talked. So he's like, okay, what can I do to change the narrative here? I'll do something nice. Hey, Rich, let's team up. Sorry about this, bro.
For fairness sake, he did say squashing the beef tweet. There is on March 17th. So this is before even the initial poll about my appearance on today's side scroller. And the tweet reads, I sincerely wish you and your daughter the best. People told me about what you're going through tonight, and it sounds awful. No more beef, man. Let's move on. So this is on March 17th. This is way before. It's not 24 hours, but it's plenty of time before inviting him to the podcast.
That's him like, hey guys, you know, his dance. What do you say? Flying monkeys, guys. I need to get some credibility back here. Who can I email, guys? Let me know. Review Tech's daughter is kind of sick. Okay, that's great. Yeah, that's it. Review Tech, can I please apologize publicly for you? This is gonna work great, guys. Thanks. That's a snake, man.
Hey mate, if you're in your like really vulnerable moment and you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm right here. You know, I could do with the help. Taking advantage of him when he's vulnerable.
Yeah, but if you cry on my shoulder and then we don't get along for some reason, sometime after that, I'm gonna bring that up. The fact that you cried on my shoulder, and I'm gonna say Rich, I was here for you when you had to cry on my shoulder. When things were going bad for you, I was here for you. Why are you not here for me now? So he does those things, and I'm gonna keep this this whole spiel for when we actually get to it. So let's actually get to it.
Yeah, let's get there. Yep, go ahead. I like your timeline. Keep going if you can.
Right. Well, after that, I guess he jumps on stream. There was another tweet, but that was way after the late stream. So he does this DSP reacts backstab by side scrollers. One of the biggest points is that they read all the insulting super chats from detractors because, people send you money and you read it, even if you don't get what it's about.
One thing there, he was pausing only on super chat. So like if the he stopped on every super chat to make sure he made his point. Like, look at this, they're reading super chat again. What the assholes? And then whenever they were saying something like agreeing with the super chat, fast forward, this means nothing. Fast forward, this is irrelevant. Fast forward, I don't know what they're saying.
When he was doing it,
so many, it was great.
He would skip through the video until he saw like a yellow super chat and be like, "Oh yeah, wait, this is the big one. Let's see what it says."
Yeah.
And then it would say like, "Hey, you guys did a great job on that DSP interview," and then he would just skip it immediately.
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, they'd be talking about something slightly off topic and be like, this isn't about me. Let's move on. And it's just like, Jesus, man, this full on baby mode. Just the most
it's
childish.
Baby in diaper crying on the floor. Please save me. Please, someone notice me. Witness me. My pity.
Witness me. Mediocre.
And dude, the first thing it said when this whole thing was about money. They made all that fucking money about me, using me. I didn't get any of that. That's how interviews work. It's not some new thing.
Did you see when he was like, I don't know if this is true, but this is the number I've heard. It's 20 grand. And it's like, because you've heard it from one person, so you're going to automatically believe them because it agrees with your pre-existing bias that they must have got a lot of money from me.
That's a great point. That's something that we missed when Adam called him out. When Phil is watching documentaries on Keemstar, as fact. But when somebody makes a documentary of him, it's biased and it's nitpicking and it's a troll, and they're taking that as fact, and they shouldn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how did we miss that? And he said, "This is rich coming from you, Phil." Oh, that was a great line. Such a great line.
That's probably the moment, isn't it? I think for me anyway, and I've got it here. If everyone would like to hear it.
Holy shit, Phil! I gotta say, this is fucking rich coming from you right now, though.
That just cuts like butter. God damn it, man. I love that moment. It's so good. It's so true. Phil watches Keemstar documentaries and believes every single fucking thing on there. Phil watches a Retractor documentary and says, that didn't happen. Well, that's not true. Nope.
Anyone
that's
else?
not
Like
true.
Wings,
Nope.
John
That's
Howard,
not
all
true.
bullshit.
Yep. That's not true. That nugget of truth.
Never happened. Debunked.
Then he brought up being on there, giving them 5 hours of his time and doing them a favor to stay until the post show for their Patreon supporters. Remember when I told you guys to put a bullet point on that?
Yeah,
we're on that now. As we could see on the screen, like what Sam shared, that was completely him deciding to stay. They let him go. They said, Phil, if you want to go now, if you want to do your thing, you can do that, man. We're gonna do the thing for the Patreon stuff. Yeah, we'd like to stay for you guys. And now we're bringing that up. We're dangling that in front of their face.
And remember, he said also, if I was guilty, would I stay that long? He said that later. If I was guilty, would I stay for 5 hours?
I'm just throwing it.
Go ahead.
I mean, you can look at it kind of like he wanted to feel like he was part of that crew for just a little moment, I guess.
I felt sad. I felt sad sometimes when it's like he so wants to be able to be a normal, having nonsense fun on a podcast dude. But unfortunately, his choices that he continues to make that impossible. And there's no one else's fault to blame but you. No matter how much you look for other places to blame, it is only your fault.
Yeah,
and
like Craig rightfully said throughout, he could, it could well happen, but you've got to get through all this other stuff first, and he's never going to allow it. Or,
never.
Well, I hope he does.
If it was
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
else, it would be tragic. You would feel sorry for this person who so clearly wants human relationships and doesn't have them. But it's Phil. You just can't feel pity.
That's why we're all here. We can't feel pity for it because the choices he makes and continues to make on Wednesday, the Wednesday before this interview, when you think you might be on your best behavior, he says, after making $600 in the last 3 days, he says, guys, I really hope to get some tips tonight so I can have some money to afford my day off tomorrow. That was the day before the podcast. The day before the podcast, after making $600 in 3 days. He can't, nothing's going to change him, just like Keemstar said. And Keemstar also said that, smartly said, I know this might sound weird, but your detractors are fans. And if you open that up a little bit, it's true. Like, we're not fans, but we follow what he does. And you can monetize that, monetize us. But Phil, again, making the wrong choice in every fucking possible way. That's another example of it.
I always like to put it like this. We are fans, but not in the way that his content was intended to be. Yeah. And he doesn't like that, of course. He could like that, and he could weaponize it, like people like Boogie tried to do when Boogie opened an OnlyFans to post naked picture of himself for the trolls. Phil could do, I'm not saying that, but he could weaponize it as well. But he's too prideful for that. But because, of course, we're fans of the shit show. We're fans of the freak show that's going on, and that's like crazy if we denied that being fact, because we talk about him and people follow him around, and we are the target demographic for what he is doing on that podcast, on the side scrollers. We are the people who tuned in.
Yep.
If you wanted,
If
you wanted, you could tie it all back to This Is How You Don't Play, because again, you've got that moment there where it's like, this is a side of Phil. This is not like the side of Phil that he wants to project. This is a whole other side, and it's like suddenly people can be interested in that. We don't need to follow Phil, the character, the image he wants to put out. We can see the real Phil, and we want that now. So ultimately, we are fans in that regard. We are fans of seeing this thing break through every now and then.
And Meerkat, are we getting to the part where he reads the Craig email? That's coming up, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't really have it pulled up, but essentially it was in response to Phil's email. So I need to put this kind of into perspective for clarification purposes. So Phil writes him an email where he explains that he could send him proof for the champion stuff, but he asks Craig, do you check this email very often? And Craig responds the next day, basically saying, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase this because I don't have the email in front of me. You can go check it out. It's on, he reads it on Duty Stream and on his own stream on Twitch. So if you want to fact check me on this, feel free to do so. I watched that on my stream as well yesterday. What Craig says, basically, Phil, you didn't help your case. You look guilty. So at this point, there is really no point for you to be showing me any kind of proof. I was trying to get you to level up to level 2.
Oh, I got it. I got that right here. Let me read that. Let me read that line, because it's basically just what Meerkat says. I don't want to read the whole thing again. Yeah. You had a lot of chances, Phil. I bring up a lot of insanely defense. You wouldn't take the chance to back it up. Your defense is always, it's not. That's your defense. Keemstar coming on. I tried to lay out similarities you feel towards him and the way people feel about you, based on the things we've seen online about you, and it was tough. Honestly, I'm disappointed. Like I said, we want what's best for you. We very much do. You have to help yourself. When you're ready to take that step, I'll gladly take you on your journey. Take you on that journey, excuse me. You deserve to get to level 2. I know you can do it.
And his response to this is gold, because his response is that level 2 must mean that you're just like Keemstar. You're taking other people's suffering and you're monetizing it. You have to be just like Keemstar. And that's what he made it out to look like. So Craig is now officially a bad guy because Phil offered to show him all this proof, man. He offered not to just show him the Champions account. He was going to screenshot his Apple account that connects to all of these millions and billions of mobile games.
Whatever, man.
Oh, but yes.
Yeah,
like
that's
Adam
such
said,
bullshit.
That point has gone now. At any point now, we cannot trust that you didn't make like a new account that's got nothing on it, or you haven't edited it. That moment has gone. You've lost that chance now. You can never be believed about that. The only way you would ever get away with it now is to hold up your phone and actually tap the account and properly sign in. And even then, people probably wouldn't believe you. because
the
there's
only-
always that doubt.
It still people wouldn't believe it, but it's still it'd be much better chance if you say, "Yep, you know what? I will do it right here, right now. Go." And like
I would.
that would
Yeah,
shut up a lot of people.
I would like to ask you guys, because I talked about this on my stream. If Craig was to verify the proof that Phil sent him, and Craig went out and said, "You guys, this is not Phil's account. We've been wrong." Would you accept that?
No.
Because based on the interview and how objective he was, I would say that I would accept that, because I think that he would do his best to verify that truly was not some like bullshit.
I still can't get past the Firestone thing though. Like I still can't get past that. The Firestone lineup it's his bank account, guys. So
no, we're talking about the mobile game stuff.
Well, I mean, but he still has all that Apple iTunes spending, guys. We have to explain away then.
Yes, the Man League stuff, that is like he has no defense for that. He has absolutely no defense for that.
Yeah.
But if you could show that, like, hey, this account on WWE Champions is not me. This is my account to Craig, and then Craig would go,
okay. Then maybe he spent less. Okay. Yes, I would then. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine.
Just again, like Mick said, based on how he handled that interview and how objective he seemed.
Yeah.
Like he had my trust for something so significant like that. If he said, "Phil showed me it's not," I would accept that. But Phil has lost that chance now forever.
Yeah. But let's not kid ourselves. It's not like if that all of a sudden came true, it's like, okay, yeah, Phil's a good guy. Pretty cool. He has a little bit of an addiction problem, but it's cool. It's not like that either. But that point would be proved. That's for sure. We would take the L on that. But
yeah.
Well, but what if he showed him an account? Because we're never going to find out in this scenario. We're never going to find out from Craig what Craig saw, right? Because
Craig
he could
would
show
say down from the rafters is not Phil's account name is not down from the rafters. You know, that account is not Phil.
But if we never know what the name is, then we can't verify. You know, Phil could make a new name on that.
Yeah,
account.
it's kind of
whatever. Absolutely,
hypotheticals or whatever. But I do want to talk about, because we got to move on here a little bit. But when this is Phil's defense about the whole thing during this time was they went into that interview believing what the detractors said. They only talked to detractors, and I know this is true. Craig said this. He did not receive any emails from Phil fans. No, he received a fuck ton of emails from detractors. A fuck ton of emails from detractors. So that tells you something. Actually, though, he did receive. I forgot to tell the story earlier. While I was doing the hour-long practice with Craig, he received an email online, live, and it said this, in paraphrasing, of course. Hey, this is whoever from the Detractor Palace. Your information has been doxed on Kiwi Farms. I don't think this interview is good. It's bad for all of us detractors, and it's also bad for you. You need to cancel this interview. I saw Craig read this out live. Now, Meerkat, I didn't know who this was at the time. I thought Craig was kind of taking it seriously, like this. I was like, dude, there's zero chance this is true. I don't know about any Detractor Palace. He's not speaking for all of us. Do not ignore this right away. Ignore this. But Meerkat then told me when I told him the story. Who is it again?
Detractor Palace is Superhound.
Yes.
Also known as Jake Lasso.
So Superhound was trying to do a last-minute ditch effort. This was at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Whale Mary to get the interview canceled for his boys on his boys' behalf.
You can tell because the Detractor Palace YouTube channel has a link to it. Is it .gov.us?
Exactly.
It's a phishing
Don't
site.
click on it.
It will take your IP. It will rip it. So, but it's him. It's his. It's ones he's used before.
Yes, that's true.
So it's him. So yeah.
Yes, that's
great
him.
play. Well done.
Yeah, so that happened live. I was like, I just not know who it was. I didn't know that deep about the Detractor Palace, but it was so crazy. I was like, dude, this is insane. And Superhound is correct to think Phil should not have done this 100%. But unfortunately, your boy had to do it. It's another Thursday for him, like he says.
But the weird thing is, you'd think of all fans, Phil's fans would know how to email. So why didn't they? You know, they must be used to emailing by now, especially if you get banned and you need to get back in.
Well, we know they're exceptionally good at emailing because Phil receives a remarkable amount of emails from fans that are so considerate and they love him so much. They're willing to write paragraphs to give him advice on his React channel.
Going through stuff and telling him how meaningful their content is. Yeah.
But dude, seriously, this is what Phil said though. They believed everything. They got all the evidence from the detractors, nothing from the other side. The other side consists of, I didn't do that. No, that's not true. That's it. Phil, what's your defense? No, that's not true.
I'm gonna get a pip.
Yeah,
That's it.
other than people like emailing Craig saying I find Phil's content meaningful, and what else is there?
Yeah. And I challenged Craig. And Craig talked about this when he was on with Duty, which we should at least talk about that a little bit. He said, someone told him to watch 10 minutes of Phil content and see what you think. You know, let's see if you could sit through it and see what you find enjoyment out of it. And I told him to do that. And he said, like, well, some people find enjoyment out of a lot of things, like, weird stuff. And I was like, that's true. But think about what kind of person does it take to enjoy a Phil stream? It is not a normal human being. And I don't want to. I'm not trying to be toxic here, but it is the truth. It is the truth, and that is some point that was not brought in the interview because it's kind of hard to bring that up without being offensive. But that's the truth. Who enjoys the kind of humor Darkside Phil has? No one, unless you're a certain kind of person. Who finds the jokes he says funny? Who sounds his content meaningful? No one, and that's the biggest. That's another layer of why Phil is just not a good person.
Toy.
Well, it's not no one. Factually, it's someone, but those people are widely regarded as a certain type of people. And I think it's worth addressing this. Craig has admitted he agreed to come on our podcast, but if he's done with the DSP stuff, he wants to move on, do his own stuff. Absolutely no pressure. Yeah. He can just watch as much as he wants of whatever he wants. He can watch this episode to see what we think about this, and then that's it. If Adam wants to come on, that's cool, man. We're gonna talk about DSP a little bit. He has a first-hand experience, so that'll be fun.
Oh, they'll get the red carpet treatment. We'll make this place the Crag and Chatham show.
Oh,
they're gonna get an honorary strokey, aren't they, in the next?
Oh God, yeah, they already got one. I got my side scroller's hat, by the way. It's coming.
Guys with families and house operators, how much time do we have?
5 minutes.
Samuel, 5 minutes. Sam put the kibosh.
Okay, then let's jump to super chats and then outro.
Yes, please.
Because we could expand and go into the Keemstar and Craig on Duty stream. We could go all kind of ways with this. So depends on what you guys are good with. So I can jump onto the super chats.
Quick overview of the stream afterwards. Yeah. So Duty was on doing his restream, and Craig came on there. Just out of the blue or what? I don't know how that happened. How did he
just
get
on his as well, didn't he? He started a stream to get onto Duty's.
Yeah.
So he started streaming from his end as well.
Yeah, so he kind of got in there, was talking about the situation. Phil obviously was not happy, burned that bridge fast as shit. By the way, though, we should make the point that Phil did all this grandstanding about how I was going to send Craig information just so he looks like he had a good faith chance to send shit. Like, I was going to do it. They fucked up the chance. God damn it. That's the only reason he did it. It's because I wanted to appear like I was going to be serious and send the proof. But now I can't send the proof. Gosh darn it. If they didn't do that, it's their fault, not my fault. I wanted to send the information.
Yeah. We have a genuine, honest question without putting his family at risk from Brad Burnian. Should we skip the next group thing to do a part 2, analyzing the whole fallout?
Yeah, that might be a good idea, yeah. Because there's a lot.
100%.
Right, what do I do with my 18 interview bits? They're already.
We can do a half and half, so we can satisfy all of our audience.
Plus, ALT has his own show now as well. We should pimp that out.
Oh yeah, Fridays songs only. This Friday is going to be a Snood special. We're going to get Snood on and Injured on and listen to some Snood greatest hits on Friday.
Snood. Excellent.
Smooth Snood is coming out Friday
with a capital.
But yeah, I think what we've all witnessed warrants changing things up slightly. For the midweek show for sure.
Yes, definitely. And also, we should say that our next week guest on Sunday, by the way, our next week guest is pretty hype. We need to say it. We are going to get the one, the only, the Duty on Sunday. A lot of people asking for this, and we made it happen. Duty is coming in finally, and also our art contest, which is like the worst timing ever because all this happened.
Oh shit! That's going on. Yeah,
our art contest. We're making a figure that Gundam himself is going to paint for us. It's going to be 3D printed and sent away to Gundam to paint. Is going on. Please send your entries in here. You have 1 week left to get those in. So Duty streams next Sunday with Darksea to Phil, and also I think it's a good time now, Sam, that we're going kind of late, and unfortunately, my wife is kind of doing something, and she's actually crying downstairs. Sam, if you could send an image of that, please.
It's there. It's there. They can see it.
My wife is crying downstairs, guys. We went too late. That's obviously made by Darksea. That's made by Darksea. Big ups, Darksea.
Big ups.
He made that during this show. But go ahead, Meerkat, please finish us out. Finish us out.
Right. And then please, you guys, you have to promise that you're going to play my song, which is already public. But anyways. And speaking of, I would like to bring this up. When Craig was on Duty's podcast, he says his wife was laughing. So she's the opposite of Kat. He's like, my wife is laughing upstairs.
Yeah.
Exact inverse.
Right. I'm going to go through some super chats. If you guys have something to say about them, have any comments or something is a question, just cut me off.
Yes.
Big ups to Larry B for the super chat. The React thing was the most angry I've ever seen him. Real anger. It was a compelling scene.
True.
It really was.
Yep. You rarely see
Lotion Up says, I had to do it to him. And that's a quote, I guess.
Lotion Up. Cream
Oh,
on.
they went in dry.
Cream on.
SI3 says, laughing my ass off, that's so cringe. I'm sure that's about the pilot hat being busted out.
What a moment.
Your boy says, either the order is true and it's irrelevant, or it's a lie and it's pathetic. Either way, it's not anybody's business, so it's exploitative. Unreal. That's about Kat's restraining order. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Big ups to U.S. Army 77. How about when Phil tried to change the subject a couple of times and Craig and Adam said no? Let's keep on topic. You could see Phil was upset.
Best.
Yeah, this wasn't according to the script he had laid out in his head. And we have a shout out to Steve from Gary XYZ851. Yo, Steve of the Dead, love your content, brother.
Oh, thanks, mate. New stuff is coming. I am editing. I promise.
Well, at this
very
point,
busy
man,
the last 2 days, like
you gotta be working overtime.
Yes.
Big ups Galeth Knox, who says Phil stayed the entire 5 hours and was okay with Keem coming on because he needs to prove he's the smartest guy in the room and outweighs his instincts to survive.
That's one thing we know is he is not the smartest person in that room, in any room.
He wasn't even the smartest person in the room he was at when it was being recorded.
Jasper was there.
Not even the smartest in the room when Jasper was there. Yeah.
The ants were there. Oh, shit.
A big ups to Joseph, who says, I felt so dumb when he showed us the paper with the crayons written info. I could not believe we fell for his trap. Hit X the gout. I'm sure that was I started doubting him then. I'm like, you know what? Phil maybe has all these bills. Big ups to Jasper the Cat, who gives a shout out to Snort Hogan, Duty, and Chill Murray. So shout outs to them.
Jasper.
Duty says, great job, ALT. Who we all
not just me.
Did a great
I
job.
deserve 1% of it. All they did so good. Craig and Adam are legends. A lot of other people helped too, not just me at all.
That is true. But on this panel, you deserve the most credit. You were the direct point of contact, representing all of us.
That is true. I'll take that. I'll take that W.
Take that W. Because you never know when the next quiz is coming, and I'm gonna destroy you. So keep it.
Hey, we did just hit 3,000 subscribers today, so we could get another round 2 in there, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So
you want another one?
Another L? I'll take you.
Hayden42 says, big ups to those who watched it in the Discord. ALT and the others there made the interview super fun. So shout out to you guys for hanging out and interacting.
Hanging it back.
Then Snood says, DSP spent a week discouraging his audience from checking out the interview because there will be no new answers, and then got mad that no one showed up.
Great point.
Then we got DAR Christian 91. I heard that Review Tech USA might be doing an interview with Phil. Do you think Rich will try to open up to one up Phil on his interview? Keep up the good work.
It's already said he's not going to do. Review Tech dunked on Phil.
Yeah, his tweets.
Yesterday. Yeah, his tweets.
No way.
And Review Tech. He Review Tech handled it correctly in this case. 100%.
Yeah, rightly so.
100%. Yeah, he said, "Fuck that shit, man."
There we go. Big ups Ian Moreland, who says, ALT, as you remember, Frost/Nixon. How did you compare? You know, because you're old.
Thanks for saying I'm old. You didn't have to add that to the joke, by the way.
Then we go Vikes, who just sent a super chat, so I'm going to read that before it passes. 3K subs, 1K watching, 200K subs, 200 watching.
That's the ratio for you.
That's take that ratio. We're going to flex on that until the end of time.
Yeah.
Of course. We're going to post that up on Twitter too. And we're going to get a ratio there as well. So No Zaku Boy says, to be honest, that concludes the legendary pig roast saga for me. Next is the white whale saga. Seems like Keem is a little jealous of the praise Craig is receiving, and he's going a little Ahabby.
Captain Ahab.
Moby Dick, Captain Ahab. Yeah.
We'll talk about that on Thursday. The group thing is Thursday this week. We'll talk about it then.
There we go. Big ups to Trenton Brown, who says, won't be able to catch this live, but I want to say Sir Moist has to be in the top percentile of detractors. Don't forget, this great fiasco started when Moist said Phil's entire brand was begging.
Oh, yes. Okay, I just thought of a meme. I got to do that. Domino's pushing. It was definitely Sir Moist.
Oh, yeah.
Was the push of the smallest domino. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Big ups to Ian Moreland. Check the record. 2 weeks I said ALT knew something. So he got you. He spot you right off the bat.
Thank you.
And Mr. Extravagant says a little something for the divorce fund. You're legends.
Hey, today we're cool, man. We're cool. Sam's not though. Sam has worried right now.
Yeah. Big ups to Dabby. She says his reaction to the side scrollers debrief meltdown was legendary, which it was. And shout out to Dabby for contributing to that and giving us a shout out.
Yeah, Stabby legend.
That was cool,
awesome.
Infidel Castro is chilling with some 420 coffee. Squirrels. That being said, Sunday decompression, which is like the best combo.
Perfect.
Out of nowhere.
Woodland creatures.
And it works online as well. So big ups to Khan Saad, who says, guys, while the impromptu interview with Duty, Keem, and Craig was a bit controversial towards the end, both Duty and Chinko apologized. Recognition. Big ups to that. I didn't think it was that bad. I guess we're going to talk about it on the next thing we do.
Yeah. I don't think they had to apologize for anything, but it's cool they did, but I don't think they had to. It's just, we'll talk about it Thursday.
Yeah. I think Craig was already clocked out, so it doesn't really matter at all. Big ups to Dabby again. Big ups to all involved. Insane 48 hours. I can still smell the ham cooking. P.S. Steve, let's get married. We get a formal
connection. Cool.
proposal.
Elope.
Cool.
We going to do it in Las Vegas, or are we actually going to plan something?
Go to your parents' house, Steve.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah, your dad loves the show, so he's going to participate in this. VLX right now says in chat, ALT, would you say this was an extinction level event? Like when an asteroid that took out the dinosaurs for Phil. And of course, this is a question for ALT because he actually remembers.
Yeah, similar impact a lot of different ways. Yes, definitely very similar. Thank you. I was there, Meerkat.
Yeah, shout out to the Decepticon. I'm first going to read his first super chat, because his second one is an apology. Bad news, ALT. Network execs at WPIG rejected your pilot for Pimp My Walker. They hated the meaningful stories about the Great Depression and speedrunning, but liked learning about Walker culture. And then he says, jokes aside, amazing work. # trust ALT.
Thank you. Never forget.
And shout out to Stray Beans. I went away for the weekend. Did I miss anything? No.
I know you did. I saw
man.
you. I saw you in the chats a lot, Stray Beans.
To quote LTG, rewind the stream. I'm not repeating anything. Taylor Jennings says, you guys see him show off his Nazi hat to Craig? Yes, we did.
Yeah. Live reaction.
Yeah, it was hot. This is going on the That Being Said Reacts channel, which are launching immediately.
That made the show way better. Like, we didn't see it. It was just like so fresh. Like, that was incredible.
Yeah, I'd assumed you guys would have seen that. That was great that you hadn't.
Yeah, the White Devil asks, when will Steve's 20-hour video on the interview be out? And judging by Steve's production output, it's probably this time next year.
Yeah. Thanks.
2024 early.
I am editing. I'm sorry.
January.
He's doing better than me. Give him a chance, man.
I'm currently editing the one about the meltdown that he had like a week before this. So
that's the worst. Yeah, it feels like
that's like replace something else that I needed to edit. Let's replace something else because I was sick, and it's like I've got a backlog, but it's coming. I promise.
Yeah, shout out to Infidel Castro who says we ate good this week.
Oh,
and honestly,
yeah.
it was like the best DoorDash sushi that Renton could get ever.
Yeah. Time released.
Detractor Christmas, as I've seen it pointed out as.
Yeah, again, massive shout out to Paradox for the significant contribution of 50 pounds. Big ups to all the effeminate boyfriends. We appreciate it very much, Paradox.
All legend. And finally, we're gonna leave you with a world premiere, if we could, Sam, where we're coming out.
Oh, I haven't got that
no,
sound
it's already
clip.
live on the channel.
Okay,
but
I can play it, but yeah,
it's a world premiere for this stream.
Okay, it's a world premiere. Thanks. All right, go ahead. Let's finish it. What a show! Thanks everybody. You're all legends. Everybody on the panel's a legend. Everyone watching a legend. It's incredible. What a legend group we have here. We'll see you on Thursday.
Yes, we will.
Yes, that's true.
That's my favorite. Yes, that's true.
See you later, everyone.
That being said, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe, recommend to a friend, and if they stay as your friends without taking offense, we hope to see you again someday.
Hey, did you know this song isn't from Mario? It's a panic joke, panic, you know?
Yes, Derek, we know. Now go.
It's disappointing to me, and it's sad, but at the same time, it just